anyone on
We've
this
had
network.
kids miss games because of being sick. We've had kids miss games because of relatives passing away. We've had kids miss games because of suspension. Kids miss games because they quit the team. But tonight is a first from what we heard from Coach Rick Tingle.
Yeah, Rick Tingle told us when we were going through, and he's making the scratches, and he scratches Carter Ekberg, one of their top players, and then Adam Alavi, and then Giovanni Carbonara. And we're like, our first thought when you're doing this is commitments or injuries or travel team, junior commitments. Carter Ekberg, Giovanni Carbonara, Adam Alavi are in California for the Grammy Awards.
And my first thing is, they up for a Grammy Award? Or is there somebody at Peters Township up for a Grammy? Or maybe a relative? I don't know. You never know. But they decided to miss tonight, and they're going to be without them. And that's 3 of their top 8 scorers, Bob. And
Chad Wyatt, one of their defensemen, is serving a 1-game suspension. And they have injuries to a couple of other players as well. So a depleted lineup. Coach Tingle, Mike, said that they're going with 5 defensemen here tonight, including Matt Michalowski, who's coming up. He's a call-up. So you got to do what you got to do with injuries and players not in the lineup due to other reasons.
Yeah, Rick Tingle's squad, only 3 losses on the year. They lost to North Allegheny the first time these two teams played back on November 18th. A 2-1 game. Ekberg scored for Peters Township. Dawson Richard and Joseph Zappia scored for NA. Tony Lejeune had 20 saves for Peters Township. Joseph Hubert, 23 saves for NA. Peters Township only 2 other losses, to Pine Richland 3-2, Seneca Valley 3-1, and they tied Pittsburgh Central Catholic 3-3. These two teams have in common a loss, both to Pine Richland. NA's losses to Cannon Mac and Pine Richland, and a tie to Bethel Park. So the 2 top teams in AAA right now, arguably before going into the playoffs, should be an interesting matchup, Bob.
These 2 teams have already qualified for the playoffs. 4 teams out of the 8 in the AAA classification have already qualified for the playoffs. North Allegheny, Peters Township, Bethel Park, and Cannon McMillan. If North Allegheny wins tonight, Bethel Park could not catch North Allegheny. The Tigers would have 33 points. Bethel Park, the best they could finish, would be 32, but they'd still be in line to try to chase Peters Township. And if Peters Township wins, then they would tie North Allegheny atop the conference with 30 classification with 31 points. And as Mike mentioned, that game in hand then would loom large for Peters Township. Rick Tingle is in his 10th year as the head coach at Peters Township. They are the defending PIHL Penguin Cup champions and the state champions, the Pennsylvania Cup champions. Mike Bagnato moved over from Pine Richland. He is in his first year as the head coach at North Allegheny. And outside of Matt Karlovitz, Mike, he told us his team is pretty healthy coming into tonight's game.
Yeah, and when you're playing another top team like this, you would think coming into this after talking to both coaches that NA has the advantage. Pretty much all healthy, everybody there. On the other side, Peters Township with numerous injuries, and their coaches telling us we're injured. He had to look and talk to assistants to try to figure out who was going to be here, who wasn't. And with the 3 kids missing for the Grammys, he wouldn't really comment on that. I don't think he's too happy about it, but as a coach, what are you going to do in this day and age, Bob, when kids tell you they can't play? It's one of those things, unfortunately, we have to deal with. Another thing about these teams, North Allegheny, 3 shutouts on the year, and Peters Township with 2 shutouts on the year, both in the last 3 games. They're coming off a 6-0 win against Butler, and a couple of weeks ago in January they beat Central Catholic 4-0. So both teams with good goaltending, good defense. Both of these teams don't give up a lot of goals, and neither team scores a ton either. So it's going to be an interesting game between these 2 teams.
The last game for North Allegheny, a 6-3 win over Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Eric Chittister, their talented sophomore, had a hat trick in that game. Paul Gonchar, a couple of assists for Peters Township. Their last game, a 6-0 shutout over Butler. Carter Ekberg with 2 assists in that contest. Brady Cochran, a goal and 2 assists. And the shutout was the first of the season for Commodore. You mentioned the goaltending matchup in the first game, Hubert versus Lejeune. That is the matchup we get here this evening.
Another thing, too, if North Allegheny can win this game, they only have 2 games left. Butler, and that will be away, and then that's at the Ice Connection, and then in another week and a half, they'll play Seneca Valley. Seneca Valley is a strong team too, so if North Allegheny trips up, they're going to probably have to win at least one of their last 2 games to try to win this division, whereas Peters Township, they have to play Mount Lebanon at home, Bethel Park away, and McMillan away. That's a tough schedule to end up the year. North Allegheny, Mount Lebanon, Bethel Park, Cannon McMillan. They don't have an easy road to try to win this division.
Those teams, they play all the playoff teams already that have qualified in the AAA classification. So not easy down the stretch, but that could get the Indians ready to defend their Penguin Cup and potentially their Pennsylvania Cup championships. We're going to take a break, back with the opening face-off, and give you the numbers on the starting goaltenders as well from the Bladerunners in Warrendale. It's PIHL High School Hockey. It's sponsored by Trib Total Media, and you are listening and watching only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Own your piece of hockey history with a Penguins game-used jersey. Visit J&J Distributing at www.jjdistributing.biz and check out one of their largest selections of Penguins game-worn jerseys from your favorite Pens, past and present, or call 724-752-1556. J&J Distributing buys, sells, and trades some of hockey's most prized possessions, including the Penguins game-worn jerseys, Penguins practice jerseys, minor league jerseys, and new and game-used equipment. Browse their inventory today at www.jjdistributing.biz.
This is Adam Horner, and as promised last year, Josh Roundtree is here to help promote Season 10 of the PIHL Power Play right here on the MSA Sports Network.
But after so many years of coverage, where can we turn for some great hockey wisdom that we haven't yet? How about the head coach of the Mighty Ducks, Gordon Bombay?
Let's have fun out there.
Flying V! Soft hands. You don't shoot the puck to your teammate, you sail it to him.
And don't forget the most important piece of advice ever given by our mentor, Hans.
Wear thick socks, Gordon.
Catch the PIHL Power Play every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on MSASports.net. Attention all teenagers in the South Hills. If you need something to do on a Friday night, look no further than the TGIF Skate at the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena. Featuring a live DJ, big screen TV, special effects lighting, and games from 8 to 11, it's the place to be this winter. Mount Lebanon Ice Arena also offers an after-school skate for younger children, Fridays from 4:30 to 6 p.m., and a full range of instructional programs for all ages. For more information, call 412-561-4363 or visit mountlebanon.org.
The team at S-Mark takes great pride in the company they've built and their growing presence in Pittsburgh. Strong values, steadfast dedication, and unwavering commitment extends well beyond the walls of S-Mark facilities into virtually every facet of our local communities. From ongoing support for critical health and human services for families and children to youth sports and recreation programs. It's the many faces of S-Mark that touch lives, instill hope, and provide opportunities to enhance and enrich the world around us. S-Mark is proud to extend its support of local communities through its sports sponsorship with the MSA Sports Network.
I got the Bladerunners in Warrendale with Mike Azadian and Bob Orkwis. Opening face-off about to get underway. Peters Township in the red jerseys. The black pants move right to left across the computer keyboard or your screen. If you're watching on the video stream, North Allegheny, the homestanding Tigers in their home whites with the black and gold. They have the puck coming through center ice. North Allegheny moving from left to right. Eric Chittister gets the puck in, actually bounces towards the goaltender Lejeune. The junior goalkeeper picks it up off the ice, and actually it was an offside call. Lejeune playing in his 11th game for Peters Township. 6-3-1. He has a goals against average of .246, a save percentage of .901. For North Allegheny, Joe Hubert in his 13th game, 7-2-3 on the season. He has one shutout. Sterling goals against average of .179, tops in the classification amongst players and goaltenders with the correct amount of games. His save percentage also outstanding at .925. Peters Township gets it center point. A shot by Jake Shopes is kind of partially deflected, goes into the corner, and the Tigers, Matthew Heil in his own zone, will play it up the near boards, and Dawson Richard skates it, gains the line, bounces it on Lejeune. Line change forthcoming for North Allegheny. And in his own zone, playing the puck, Zach Gelarowski for Peters Township, skating through the center. Good wrist shot from just at the blue line and into the blocker. Down into the butterfly, Hubert made the blocker save. Puck is played in the neutral zone. Comes to Cochran. He dumps it in. That is Brady Cochran. And a slap shot from the right side by Sam Barnes. Missed the net. Pinching in to keep it alive is Raymore for Peters Township. He lost it. Counterattack, Dominic Zangaro. Zangaro fires a wrist shot wide. He's on the puck, but he overskates. And in his own zone, the play at Sam Barnes for the Indians. Puts it back to center ice, loses it to Will Rayenkamp. Rayenkamp then loses it in the corner. A centering pass. Nathan Taylor, a good job to clean up his own zone. Gets it up ahead, and an opportunity on the counter coming down the left side. Zangaro, he walks into the backhand, but he shot it wide. Zangaro got around Max Boss. Boss lost his stick, and Zangaro had a great opportunity on the backhand, but he couldn't get the shot on the net. Good action to start this game. Now a wrist shot. Deflects in front, and it's loose and put right through the crease by Michael Kramer. A great opportunity to give North Allegheny a 1-0 lead. Now in their own zone, the Tigers bring it up. Heil, his long pass goes into the zone. Matt Michalowski will play for Peters Township. Flip it around to the far side. Rosso Pica in his own zone. Lost it, and now he does on a second effort get it out. Jace Cochran dumps it in. He goes to give chase into the North Allegheny zone. He avoids a check there by Matthew Heil, and the puck comes in front. It's loose, and Cochran almost had a chance to stuff it in, but he couldn't quite do it at the right post. Cleared into the near corner, the left wing corner. An easy time for North Allegheny's Paul Gonchar to get it out. Short little backhand pass to Michael Kramer. Kramer comes down into the zone down the near side. When he poked it off the stick of Will Barnes right on the net. Lejeune had to be sharp, and now a shot from the far point taken by the captain, Will Rayenkamp. Stopped by Lejeune, and he holds on. A good start to this game.
Yeah.
We've almost played 3 minutes. Good up and down action both ways.
Exactly, and no whistles till now. Fast pace by both teams. Good passing by both teams. Good breakouts by both teams. And that's an up and down, back and forth game so far. Very enjoyable.
Tigers win the face-off. Chittister tries to dump it in. It does come around into the near corner to Dawson Richard, who skates with it to the near point. A little drop pass on the stick of Bostito. Comes to the side of the net, played by Joseph Zappia. Zappia will skate it around into the far corner. That's Chittister. 12 goals, 16 assists, 28 points for Chittister to lead the way for North Allegheny as far as points and goals. Second in the classification in points. Ninth as far as goal scoring for Chittister. Wrist shot from the point. It goes over top the net, over top the glove, the shot by Rayenkamp, and now a return shot misfires. North Allegheny, their directive seems to be pretty clear, Mike. Put pucks towards the net.
Yeah, and you know what? They've missed as many shots as they have on goal right now. 3 shots on goal. I think they've missed 4 shots. Everything high and wide left, high and wide right, but they're shooting high on the goaltender, Tony Lejeune, so maybe they got the book on him, Bob.
Puck is played back into the Peters zone, and it's icing called against North Allegheny. A face-off coming up to the left of junior goalkeeper Joe Hubert in the zone to our left.
Yeah, Peters Township, the first couple of minutes, had the better going of it in the North Allegheny defensive zone, but NA dominated the last couple of minutes.
They'll try to win the face-off, the Indians do, but they can't. It's cleared back to center ice and through center ice. Spins around Quilina. Scott Quilina is on the ice, but he can't get there. It's stumped back into the Peters zone, and Jake Shopes on the near side in his own zone has some trouble trying to get it out. Played back behind the net. Peters Township will gather it there. It's Max Boss, the senior defenseman. It gets it back to center ice, but it's dumped right back in by Dominic Zangaro. And the Indians in their own zone fire a long outlet pass. Too far. Christian Luria at center ice dumps it right back in. A delayed offside against North Allegheny. Skating up the near side with speed, Zach Gelarowski. He comes all the way down the left wing, stops on the left wing half boards, drops it back to Shopes. Shopes tried to wrist her. That was blocked by North Allegheny. And Christian Luria, the junior defenseman, leads the attack 3-on-4. Puck slides through, comes all the way behind the net, and a couple players, Luria amongst them, got tied up with Max Boss. They go into the net, and they knock it off its moorings. 12-11 to go in this first period. We're scoreless between North Allegheny and Peters.
Hey, Peters Township might have got away with an interference penalty toward the front of the net after the puck went through the North Allegheny player Boss. As you said, he didn't have possession of the puck, got dragged down, and you could say good defense if you want, but Peters Township avoided getting a shot on their goal.
Matt Emilio wins the face-off for Peters Township, and he deflects it at the blue line, leaves it there for Brady Cochran. Cochran will dump it in and give chase into the North Allegheny zone. Good job to use his speed on the near corner, but a better play on the defensive end by Daniel Bostito and Bastido gets it out. Passes a little too far over for Michael Kramer. And it's back at center ice where Bastido will dump it back in. The delayed offside. The zone is cleared. And in his own zone, Gavin Rebholz for Peters Township. Just gets it to the neutral zone. And again, NA is offside. Good outlet pass. Walking in, shooting. And a big pad save with the right pad as Brady Cochran took the stretch pass. That's the big save right there. The first of the game. And Hubert was strong with the right pad.
Both goalies have made one big save on a breakaway so far.
Dumped back in, and Jace Cochran with that speed. It was Brady Cochran, the senior forward. With a great opportunity, now a steal. Good job before check by Peters Township. They can't connect on the pass, but Sam Barnes has it on the near boards, and they can't make it work. It does come along the goal line, and they walk it out. Stolen away in the circle. The outlet by Bastido comes down the near side to Chittister. Chittister down the right wing is dumped. And we are going to get our first penalty. It's going to be charged against Peters Township.
That's a good call. That's a good call, Bob. I mean, he basically just dive. He dove at the player's ankles and took him out, and he's going to get called for tripping. Yep, that's a good
Ross
call.
Opeka.
That's a good call. I really think that
6:06 the time of this penalty. And he went over to make the check, but I think maybe did he lose his balance?
I don't know.
Penalty comes at
lost his balance, or he
6:06,
dove at him. I thought he dove at him.
They took Chittister down. NA on the power play. Centering pass, knocked to the near side by Peters Township. They try to clear, and they do. In the first game between these two teams, which was the 2-1 win for North Allegheny, the Tigers were 0 for 5 with the man advantage, but they got the game-winning goal just 6 seconds after a penalty expired for Peters Township. Good job to deny entry as Gilarowski. Now it does come in, but they'll shoot it down. In that game, Matt Tylenda was called for roughing, and then shortly after that, the game-winning goal was scored by Joe Zappia. Puck at center ice, and Peters has done a good job in the early going. That shot is blocked by Rebholz at his own man, actually, but they do dump it in, and forcing NA Mike to come the distance.
Yeah, NA's having some problems. Good forecheck by Peters Township.
Back in his own zone, Gilarowski to Rebholz, and he clears it.
And basically, NA just the passes aren't hitting in the neutral zone, and they're missing, and Peters Township just picking it up and dumping it. That's the fourth dump of this penalty, and it's a little over a minute old.
And that is penalty killing 101. Good goaltending. You get it out. The Indians have done that so far. 45 seconds to go on the North Allegheny power play behind the net. Nice job to find the lane, and Zach Gilarowski is pumped up. He dumped it all the way the length of the ice. 30 seconds now, and North Allegheny's Rayenkamp, the captain, will have to set it up from behind his own net. Here he comes on this man advantage. Pass to center ice on the stick of Michael Kramer. Kramer down the right side with a draw pass. He finds the blade of Cameron Fisher. Far side, wrist shot. That was good. Set up pretty well, but it missed. Rayenkamp keeps it in on the near side. That shot by Bastido from the far side missed the net. Nathan Taylor's on it for North Allegheny. Dumps it back into the left wing corner. Kramer is knocked out. His centering pass is stolen away by Matt Emilio. He counterattacks short-handed. Penalty is over. We're 5 aside. Emilio tried to come in. He forgot the puck. Puck is cleared out by North Allegheny. Through center ice with a nice move comes Cameron Fisher. His wrist shot is blocked. Good stick work on the defensive end by Matt Tylenda, and it goes into the mesh, and while they face off in the Peters Township zone with 8:43 to go in the scoreless first period.
Another good block shot, and as you just said, the face-off will be in Peters Township zone. But, Bob, they've missed the net about 6 times, once on that power play. The North Allegheny shooters got to get it on net for rebounds, number one, and you're not going to score if you don't put it on net, unless, of course, you bounce it off somebody, but that doesn't happen very often. Got to put it on net.
So I'm saying good idea to throw it to the net. You're saying you got to refine that.
Yeah, it's a good idea to throw it to the net. That's obvious, but you got to. They're missing by 10 feet a couple of those, and not even close. Put it on net. You get rebounds. Kids will charge the net. A lot of things can happen with putting it on the net.
Brady Cochran into the NA zone, coming down the left wing, dumps it to the far side, played by the Tigers, and out of the zone with speed comes Eric Spries, the big football player on skates, the senior defenseman / forward. Also playing for Art Walker as far as NA football goes. Dumped back into the Peters Township zone, and into the plate is Jake Raymore. Raymer's outlet, I thought that was going to be intercepted by Chittister. He missed it, and fortunately for North Allegheny, it goes the length of the ice. Icing is called against Peters Township.
Peters, it seems, that's about the fourth time. They're long lead passes. They're trying to catch a guy at the blue line. It worked on that breakaway, but it seems that's their game. Long lead passes up the middle. NA is more of a rush team, trying to get odd man breaks, 3-on-3, 2-on-2, and trying to catch Peters sleeping.
Zappy on the faceoff. Colina wins it, though, for Peters Township. Plays it to center ice. Shopes can't get there. Back to Scott Colina on the near side. He'll dump it in. And giving chase is Jake Shopes. Shopes puts it behind the end of the far corner. And Peters Township, and on the forecheck, comes around to the near side. Pinching in from the left point is Rebels, but he can't keep it in. Colina, his pass is too far for Shopes. That gives Randcamp a chance to clear. Chittister, he fires a little dump into the near corner. Played behind the net, giving chase is Mikulowski for Peters Township, but the Indians can't do it. Good forecheck by N.A., and Chittister walks out a short angle shot. And that hit a stick in front. No, it was a save, actually, by the stick of Tony Lejeune.
Yeah, it was. It was a giveaway by Peters Township that let that shot get on net.
And on the forecheck on the far side, the left wing side is Dawson Richard. Richard gets a return pass. Between the circles, a shot. And that's deflected wide. Lejeune put a stick out there, but I'm not quite sure that hit something in front. So Lejeune didn't have to make a save. Gaining the center line is Jake Shopes, and he dumps it in. Peters Township goes for a line change with 6:35 to go in this first period. Some good up and down action. Matt Emilio, nice job to force it in. And then Spinabelli, Joe Spinabelli gives chase for Peters Township. A centering pass. Emilio has to step behind. Goes to the right point. Wrist shot through traffic, and that missed. A strong wrister from the far point. That was Ty Lenda who fired it wide, and now comes back to Ty Lenda. Oh, he almost gave it away. Now he does. On the steal, Nathan Taylor. Taylor tries to walk in. We're going to get a penalty forthcoming as Taylor and Dominic Zangaro create the steal. They create the opportunity, and hooking is called against Peters Township, I believe, and that'll put North Allegheny on their second power play opportunity in this first period.
It's Ty Lenda. And Ty Lenda got into it, tried to draw a penalty. Got into it with one of the NA players, but Peters Township's turning the puck over a couple of times. That led to the last scoring opportunity. But one thing they're doing well, 3 guys are going to the boards. They're doing pretty good at preventing shots from the left and right side, and they also tie up the middle. A lot of people in front of their goaltender.
10:53, the time of the hook to Ty Lenda. Center point now near circle, shot through traffic. That's a good right pad save. We get a whistle as Lejeune stopped Cameron Fisher. And the net came off its moorings, and that'll bring a face-off again in the Peters Township zone to the left of Tony Lejeune.
Good shot by Fisher. Low on the ice. As soon as it hits his stick, you got to get rid of it. Quick pace like this with fast skating teams, you got to get rid of that puck quick and put it on net low so that goalie can't see it.
Face-off is actually to the right of Lejeune. Nice job by Gilarowski. He was double-teamed in the right corner, and he found room not only against the double team, but he found room to shoot the puck the length of the ice.
Well, he's a tremendous skater, and he's really good with the puck. I like what I've seen from him so far.
Tigers coming up on their second man advantage opportunity. Puck hits the stick of Michael Kramer, deflects into the zone. Kept in at the right point. No, Bastido had it go off the skate. Scott Colina dumps at the length of the ice, and North Allegheny's Will Randcamp has to go back behind his own net. He'll survey as the teams change up troops, both on the power play unit for NA and the PK unit for Peters Township. Puck in the near side of their own zone, and Cochran, he almost got a steal and almost got a return pass from Barnes. That would have been a good opportunity shorthanded. Puck off the stick. Chittister finds a trailer. Chittister's in front, tries to backhand it, blocked. Gilarowski uses the boards and the glass, and out it goes.
I tell you what, Peters Township, the 2 penalty kills so far. They just ice the puck and put a lot of pressure up front, and NA's having a lot of problems on their power play.
North Allegheny out of their own zone. They'll come down through center ice. Joe Zappia draw pass. Chittister. Chittister was checked well. Good job by Cochran. Turning. Chittister turns and fires, but now we're going to get a North Allegheny penalty. A slashing call.
Well, you know what? On that break right there, I thought Zappia should have shot the puck. He dumped it, and I thought he should have shot it. And that's a case where you're 15 feet from the net. You got to put it on net. And he dropped it without seeing, and it hit a Peters Township skate. So when things aren't going right, Bobby, on your power play, it's like you try to do too much. You don't want to shoot. You try to pass too much. You got to get – when you have opportunities to shoot on the power play, get it on net.
Dawson Richard is called for slashing, so we're 4 aside for another 25 seconds. And then for a minute 33 actually, Peters Township will go on the man advantage for the first time. Now, all told in the season series, 0 for 7 with a man advantage for North Allegheny. Peters Township was 0 for 2 in the first game with their power play opportunities, and a whistle with 8 seconds to go on the penalty to Ty Lenda. And 8 seconds again, it'll be a power play for Peters Township, but the faceoff is in the NA zone, advantage Indians.
Yeah, icing on NA since we are 4-on-4 right now. You got to be careful here because Peters Township's going to get a guy back. NA wants to clear right away here. You don't want to lose the faceoff here.
No, Milia had it. Zappia stepped in, though, and he won it. Clears at the center ice, hits the back of Chittister's skate. Chittister is skated off the puck, turning with the counter. Comes Sam Barnes. He enters the zone. Power play in effect for Peters Township. Brady Cochran down the right side, dumps it into the right corner. It's deflected in front, and Hubert had to be careful with that one and alert as it was bouncing around, but it's played to the near side. Peters Township loses it, and picking it up in his own zone is Eric Chittister, and he clears the ice, the length of the ice for North Allegheny.
NA with a turnover created an opportunity for Peters Township. Both teams with 2 good opportunities, and turnovers led to them.
Look at the far side, right side for Sam Barnes, gains the zone with the man advantage for the Indians. 54 seconds to go on the power play. Gilarowski will pinch in and keep it in at the near point, left point, but the Indians lose it. Bastido clears it up, and it goes over top of Gilarowski and back into the Peters zone for Max Boss. As the penalty killing unit is changed, Boss skates it up and gets the blue line down the left side. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage. 3:05 to go in a scoreless first period here at Bladerunners. Puck is in the air, glove down, and it was almost a 2-on-1 short-handed for NA. Puck is played back into the neutral zone to Sam Barnes. Near side, the Boss. Boss's pass, that's offside as Scott Colina was ahead, and the Indians are called for offside. 15 seconds to go on their power play.
A couple of observations. I watched Gilarowski. Boy, he gets the puck. Almost had a 2-on-1 against him, but he got the puck. He waited. He was calm, and he just waited for one of his players to come up to dump it to him. He didn't try to just ice it, didn't try to bang it off the boards. Patience. Sometimes a good defenseman take that extra couple of seconds and be patient and make the smart play.
And he wins the faceoff, and they force Peters back in their own zone. Gavin Rebholz, last chance on the rush. 3-on-2 for the Indians coming down the right side. They'll take a wrister, crashing the net, rebound. It's saved by Hubert, and then Hubert scrambles to the near post, and he keeps it scoreless. 2 saves, 2 shots late. A little flurry for Peters Township on their power play, but they're 0 for 1 as we're 5 aside. Dawson Richard out of the penalty box through traffic. Backhands into the Peters zone. 2:15 to go in the first period. Dumped back in by the Tigers. They have to tag up, and they do. Jake Raymore in his own zone. Pass off the stick of Scott Weaver. Picked up, and as Shopes has it, not Weaver. Shopes dumps it back into the North Allegheny zone. They'll play it near side to Rayenkamp. Rayenkamp's outlet finds his defense partner, Loria. Pass to the near side. Spries was open, but he was kind of flat-footed. He couldn't quite get there. Nice job to pinch in and keep it in by Loria. And Loria at the end keeps it in at the right point. Dumps it up off the glass into the right corner for Paul Gonchar. Gonchar's centering pass. He couldn't find Randig. Kept it at the point. Good skating effort by Loria. Wrist shot. That is blockered aside by Lejeune. And that net is off. That net is very loose.
Yeah, that's a couple
the third time I think it's come off.
You know what? I think there's been a couple of times that Lejeune, he's deep into the net, and as he moves, I don't think he's done it on purpose every time, but boy, he taps that post, and it just seems to move and might be a little bit loose as the referee's having some problems with it, but when you're a goaltender and you're hunching down like he does, your legs move into it, it's easy to take off sometimes.
That's the point, Mike.
That's 3 times.
He didn't really, Lejeune didn't really hit into it hard.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he did it on purpose.
I believe that, but it's just come off. Because it's just come loose easily. Is what
there are times that goalies do it on purpose.
Slap shot misses the net from the far point by Loria, the left point. Peters Township in their own zone will dump and give chase, as it is Jace Cochran, but His dump is too far. The shots are 6 aside. The score is 0-0 with 1:14 to go in the first period. North Allegheny, Peters Township battling for the top spot in Class AAA.
You know, a lot of people don't like low-scoring games. But boy, when you see skating like this, both of these teams, everybody can skate. Two good goaltenders, some pretty good defense. We talked about both of these teams being low-scoring teams. When you play the top teams, generally it is low-scoring.
Wrist shot through traffic, a sneaky one by Dawson Richard. Top of the right circle, good save by Lejeune. He didn't see it till the last second, but he went down into the butterfly and made the save and held on. The face-off to his right again. It's controlled this time by Peters Township, but Brady Cochran can't clear. Up to the far side of the Peters zone with under a minute to go in this first period. Sam Barnes will dump it. Emilio deflects and gives chase for Peters Township. Emilio centering pass. Comes to the center point. Oh, and over skating. Trying to tee it up from the center point was Ty Lenda, but he couldn't get a clean opportunity. And now it's cleared back through the neutral zone, but it will not be icing. Ty Lenda had a chance to play, so he has to go back in his own zone. Ty Lenda to Barnes to the far point. Kept in nicely by Rayenkamp. Up in the air it comes, though, to Jace Cochran. His pass misfires for Emilio. Cochran has it. Cochran comes down the left side, skates laterally, winds his way in, and tries to get a shot, but he is angled off by Rayenkamp. Puck on the near side and knocked down Emilio. He was knocked down from behind. It's cleared out. An opportunity for Chittister. He shoots and scores! Chittister got it. I thought Tylena had a chance to deny him, but Chittister, being the good goal scorer, Mike, found that loose puck. His wrist shot beats Lejeune and North Allegheny late in the first period, takes a 1-0 lead.
You know, Tylenda almost had him wrapped up. And he moved his stick at the last second. It was almost like he was ready to take him down, and maybe he should have. But when Tylenda moved his stick, it freed him up, and he was able to get his stick on the puck and score.
13th goal of the year for Chittister. Yeah, Tylenda was there, and then Gilarowski, but Tylenda had the chance to really wrap him up. He couldn't do it. After the face-off, the puck is in the NA zone. Heil was back there, but the buzzer sounds the end of 1 through 17. A big goal late, Eric Chittister for North Allegheny. The Tigers have a 1-0 lead. We'll take a break. Back with the second period right after this. You are listening and watching PIHL High School Hockey. It's sponsored by Trib Total Media, and it's right here on the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Want to learn how to ice skate or play hockey like they do in the PIHL? Looking for a good place to throw that winter birthday party? If you answered yes, Bladerunners is the place to go for public or private skating sessions, plus learn to skate and learn to play hockey classes. And don't forget to check out PIHL game action at their 2 locations in Harmarville and Warrendale. For more information on ice time, class and game schedules, or party planning, visit their website at www.bladerunnersice.com. See you at the rink.
Back at Bladerunners in Warrendale with Mike Azadian, Bob Orkwis, Scott Majeski here running the camera. You mentioned the teams as far as goal scoring. Peters Township in this classification leads Class AAA with 81 goals. 33 for the Indians is the least amount given up. Make that 34 after the Chittister goal late. Chittister's goal, by the way, came at 16:48 for North Allegheny. The Indians on the attack, or the Tigers, excuse me. They dump it in front. Chittister was looking for goal number 2. Played to the blue line, and it's good. It's kept in. A little hesitation, but Zappia has it down the right side. Centering pass is picked off, and here comes the counterattack. And it is Jake Raymore. Raymore dumps it in. He has some help and some support with Quilina, as he is on the puck. Scott Quilina digging it up and tying it up in the far corner. So good forechecking effort for Peters Township. They try to walk, and Colina does come out, dumps it to Boss, who tries to play it right back in, cleared out, and Dawson Richard comes down the right side with a 3-on-2. His pass, though, a little off the mark for Chittister. Chittister regains, he fired it in front, hit the skate of Boss and just trickled wide. And Scott Colina tries to get it to the neutral zone. It's played up by Rayenkamp into the North Allegheny bench. 58 seconds into the second period.
Bob, the North Allegheny goal, Eric Chittister, assist by Dawson Richard and Joseph Zappia III at 16:48 of period number 1.
So Richard and Zappia get the assist on the Chittister goal. Shots on goal through period number 1. 8-6 in favor of North Allegheny. And that's your first period scoring summary, brought to you by Bladerunners. 2 locations in Harmerville. Where's the other one?
Right here.
That was a joke. We're in Warrendale.
You got me confused for a second.
How could I forget?
There used to be a one in Bethel Park.
That's
no
correct.
More. Well, it's still there, but it's not Blade Runners anymore.
Puck is played the length of the ice, and it's going to be icing. Bastido went back to make sure he was chased down by Cochran. And don't forget, we'll give you the complete scoring recap between the second and third periods, and afterwards, Mike and I choose the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena play of the game, and we also select the Management Science Associates 3 stars. Face off to the right of Tony Lejeune in the end to our left, the zone to our left. It's controlled by Peters. Good job to skate in and take it off the face-off by Sam Barnes, but he is checked at center ice by Rayenkamp on a nice check and played back into the far corner in his own zone. Will Rayenkamp gets it out in stride. Michael Kramer, good check at center ice as he was just angled off the puck by Gavin Rebholz, who just stopped him cold. He gets it back, though, does Michael Kramer. Kramer to the near side. He takes another check from Emilio. And now Peters Township through center ice. Dumped in by Rebholz. Giving chase was Emilio. And the Indians get it out of their zone. And 2-on-2. Back the other way comes Kramer. Kramer down the right side. Pass to the near side, but he cannot connect with Cameron Fisher. Fisher does a good job to tie the puck up in the near corner. That's Gonchar in there as well for North Allegheny. Played to the far side, and the Indians will dump it up, but hits the NA bench. And that'll give us a face-off upcoming in the Peters Township zone, where 2 minutes and 19 seconds into the second period. 1-0 lead for North Allegheny.
Yeah, these first couple of minutes of this second period, it's a lot of I have it, I dump it, you have it, you bring it up, you dump it, I have it again, I dump it. It's each team's playing good defense, good breakout, but neither team's offense really clicking here early in the second period.
And he wins the faceoff. Richard fires it around the boards, comes to the near point. Loria's shot is blocked. And with speed, Rosso Pica stops on a dime. Wrist shot. He had 2 men in front with support, but that missed everything. Shopes was there. And also in front for Peters Township on the attack was Barnes. Counter for NA, right side. Wrist shot, score! Dawson Richard, the sophomore, took his time, fired from the right circle. 2-0 Tigers.
But Peters Township was late in coming back, and they had a 2-on-1 developing, which turned into a 3-on-2. He had a man coming to the net. He had a man far left. The defenseman backed off a little bit, didn't really challenge him. He got to the face-off circle, and he ripped it. And a beautiful goal by Dawson Richard. Boy, that is huge for NA to be up 2-0.
Goal number 9 for the sophomore, Dawson Richard. Puck in front. Backhand. Oh, sliding to his left to make the save was Hubert. And a good opportunity for Peters Township, as on the backhand there was Joe Spinabelli at the near post, but a better save by Hubert. It's interesting, Mike, because Peters Township right before the Richard goal had an opportunity. They misfired. Quick counter for the Tigers, and all of a sudden it's a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, play like that, you have to, on defense, you can't just let that shooter come in unimpeded. You got to challenge him, and they didn't, and it cost them.
Tylenda pinches in to keep it in, but second effort by North Allegheny, but Nathan Taylor puts it the length of the ice. Icing is called against North Allegheny.
Dawson Richards' goal assisted by Christian Loria at 2:45. So Richard with a goal and assist so far. Chittister with an assist. Loria, Zappia with assist as well.
So a 2-0 lead, the sophomores. Chittister with his 13th, and Dawson Richard his 9th for the Tigers.
Boy, he ripped that shot too. Boy, I tell you what, from the right face-off circle if you're coming in on goal, and he just ripped it. They let him shoot, which that's unusual. I think
he took his time too,
yeah,
Mike.
I think they were worried about the guy coming up the middle.
A goal scorer's goal because he looked it over. Good opportunity and a wrist shot and a glove stave by Lejeune. That might have been off the net, but the shot taken by North Allegheny And that was Cameron Fisher, and Lejeune reached out and gloved it.
It might have been Chittister who was coming up the middle, and I think the defenseman was worried about him, but you got to choose one of the two, either the shooter or the guy coming up the middle. He chose neither, and it cost him.
It was Spry's, by the way, the wrist shot. Face-off controlled by Peters in their own zone, but they can't clear. Second effort, that's stolen away. Keeping it alive is Nathan Taylor, but now the Indians come out 3-on-2. They hurry. Pass down the right side of Jace Cochran. Cochran is skated in the boards by Bastido. Has support, wrist shot through traffic. That misses the near post. Max Boss with the pinch. Keeps it in on the right side, dumps it behind the net. Peters Township, that man is crushed. Jace Cochran just ran into Rayenkamp, and Cochran took the worst of that.
He's up, he's okay.
Spry's counterattacks 1-on-3 the other way. Boss denies him, and to the bench goes Jace Cochran. He just had his head down.
Yeah, he's okay. He got up quick.
Boss in his zone. Peters Township with a short roster anyway, they could ill afford another injury, Mike.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, early in this game, it was back and forth. Each team took control, but eventually NA with the 2 goals. Now you got to wonder if you're NA. You keep pressing, and we got a penalty? Yes, we did.
We get coincidentals. Boss and Gonchar were tied up, and they both go.
But now NA's got control. Peters Township's down a couple of guys. They're still skating pretty hard, but down 2 goals to teams that don't give up a lot of goals. You figure NA's going to pack it in tight in front of their goaltender and play that defensive system, not take a lot of chances and try to salt this one away. Sometimes it's all you need is 2 goals. When teams like this play, generally you're looking at low-scoring games. Again, the last one was 2-1. Peters Township has some work to do.
4:16 the time of the coincidentals between Boss and Gonchar. Boss for the Indians, Gonchar for the Tigers. Will not affect the play. Still 5 aside on the ice. NA in their own zone. Their pass, though, they can't find Kramer. And it does come through center ice, and it's pushed in on a good effort to dump it in by Cameron Fisher. That's played back out. Brady Cochran, 1-on-1. Tries to wind his way left and back right, but a good job on the defense by Matt Heil. And it's cleared by North Allegheny, stops it. The outlet pass is behind Fisher. He tries to chase it in. Picked up, though, by Raymore. Raymore lost it. North Allegheny on the forecheck, dumps it in, but they're going to be charged with icing.
One thing that I really like about Peters Township is all their defensemen are very good at skating with the puck, moving with the puck, getting the puck quickly up to the forwards. They don't hold it a long time, especially Gilorowski. That's one good thing about him. But the problem is the forwards really aren't getting a lot done on the cycle. They're losing the puck, and NA just quickly gets it out of the zone.
Face off in the Tigers zone to the left of Hubert, won by Peters. They get a couple opportunities. They missed the net. Now Gilorowski from the right point. Save, rebound is put on the net by Ross Opeka, and that's a good save with the left paw of Joe Hubert.
Now, what did I just say? Gilorowski, that puck came to him at the right point, and he just let it go low on the net, surprised the goalie, and there was a rebound. Good things happen when the puck goes on the net.
Gilorowski, too, didn't use the full slapper, Mike.
He just got it on the
net. Good low, hard wrist shot to create that opportunity.
I wish more kids would just get the low wrist shot. You don't need to slap it 100 miles an hour. Sometimes a wrist shot's more accurate, and just getting it to the net is important.
I agree. In his own zone, turning to try to come out, Jake Raymore, but he's forechecked. A good pinching effort by Chittister. Puck is tied up in the right wing corner. Trying to skate out of it is Cochran, but a good job by North Allegheny. I think that's Fisher on the puck. Near point, Loria, opposite point. Wrist shot through traffic and a pad save on the wrister by Heil. Made by Lejeune. Puck on the near side in his own zone. Opeka. His outlet pass, trying to stretch pass, and it's too far for Will Barnes. And icing is called against Peters Township.
Yeah, the Indians had some opportunities. Only 9 shots on goal. Based on last time, if you base it on that, both teams low scoring, shots in the 20s. They're kind of on that pace now, maybe a little above that. Peters Township's got to start taking advantage of some of these opportunities.
Face off one back by Taylor on the near boards, and now Nathan Taylor skates over. Supports. Zangaro puts it behind the net. Played there, though, by Peters Township. Gilorowski, who's played well for the Indians in the early going, back on the D. Peters trying to work it up the far side in their own zone. Good forechecking effort, but good persistence. And the Indians clear the zone. Joe Spinabelli got it out of there. Puck is tied up just at the NA blue line, and the Tigers do not allow the entry. On the backhand, to play it out of his own zone was Gavin Rebholz. Near side to Weaver, and now Sam Barnes. Barnes gets a return pass from Spinabelli. Barnes behind the net. Far point, wrist shot from the top of the left circle. That missed the net by Reb Holtz. Puck played into the near corner. Gilorowski, good read. Gilorowski, 2-on-1 down low. Good wrist shot, great left pad save. The rebound's up in the air, and then it goes in. Bustito tried to glove it away, Mike, and he ended up gloving it into his own net. The Indians are on the board. It's 2-1.
I don't know if he whacked at that and it hit someone from Peters Township and went in, or if he whacked it into his own net, because the puck was up high, about a foot over the crossbar when he whacked at it. I'm not sure, Bob. I think it might have hit a Peters player and bounced in.
They're going to have to check the point streak for that, but that's created by the player we've been talking about, Matt, or Mike, Zach Gilorowski.
Oh, he just came
He
in.
made the great read. He saw where the puck was going to be.
And the puck was
and
bouncing?
He stepped right in and made it a 2-on-1 down low. Opportunity back the other way. That's a strong wrist shot by Gonchar. Stopped by Lejeune. Now a wrist shot from the point. Lejeune never saw that snapper from Matt Heil. That missed the net. Peters Township dump it up. Scott Quilina giving chases Cochran. Good to see that Jace Cochran is back on the ice for Peters Township. NA in their own zone. A 2-1 game. Jace Cochran at center ice fires it into the bench and actually fires it into the chest of his own teammate, Joe Spinabelli.
Point streak, very quick. I got to give credit to whoever's doing the point streak here tonight. Good job. Scott Weaver gets the goal. Sam Barnes and Zach Gilorowski with the assists at 6:52. So Weaver must have been the last one to touch it, unless it bounced off of him. I'm not sure, Bob. It just looked to me like the reaction of the player looked like he knocked it in, but I could have swore that puck was headed left of the goal and it hit somebody.
Scott Weaver gets his first of the year. And it looked like to me that Bustito, when maybe he knocked it into Weaver and then it went into the net.
That's what I think happened, but I don't know for sure. To check the replay later on.
2-1 after
Big
that
goal.
goal. It is definitely a big goal. A whistle near center ice. So we're going to get two players were tied up in the corner, and both players are putting their hands outstretched like they're not guilty, which generally means they are. Chittister is one of them, and the player for Peters Township is Ty Lenda.
That's twice now. Ty Lenda's gotten into it with some people. He's got a little bit of a mean streak. But, boy, Gilorowski just so smooth with the puck, Bob. That puck was bouncing, hit it with his feet. As soon as it hit his stick, he put it on net. That's the thing that a lot of people don't do. They want to play around with the puck. When you start playing around with the puck, all that does is give the goalie time to set up, time to read the play. When the puck hits your stick and you get rid of it fast, less reaction time for the goalie and the defenseman. That's what I like about Gilorowski.
Coincidentals, by the way, at 8:52. You know what I like? To me is important, even more impressive to get the bouncing puck and corral it, but just the anticipation.
Oh, yeah.
To see where that was going, and then he stepped in, he makes the steal, and once he settles, it was the 2-on-1.
There's a reason he's their leading scorer as a defenseman. I mean, he knows what he's doing with the puck, no doubt about it.
Puck is played back into the Peters Township zone, then they will dump it in. By the way, as far as all-stars for Peters Township, Brady Cochran, Carter Eckberg, and Kyle Medore are on the gold squad this upcoming Sunday in the AAA All-Star game. The head coach of the black squad will be Rick Tingle. Adam Alavi, Max Boss, and Chad Wyatt are on the black squad. All-Stars for North Allegheny this Sunday. Dom Zangaro, Eric Chittister, and Will Rayenkamp are on the gold squad. Three players on the black squad, Joe Zappia, Christian Luria, and the junior goalkeeper Joe Hubert have been selected as all-star representatives for the Tigers and the Indians. Puck is played to Barnes in his own zone. Got it to the point, but Rayenkamp kept it in. His wrist shot blocked by Gilorowski. Centering pass hits the side of the net. Finds the stick of Nathan Taylor. Taylor right point. Wrist shot. Oh, good blocker save. I'm not sure how Lejeune saw that shot from Bastito.
Yeah, puck
there were
up.
Two bodies in front. Knocked down and falling down is Rayenkamp. That creates a turnover, and it's Sam Barnes in the neutral zone. But into the zone, he can't get ahead because his brother Will Barnes, amongst others, Raymore, they were both offside. And this pass may be long enough. It's off the mark, and icing is called against North Allegheny. 7:25 to go in the second period at the Bladerunners in Warrendale. It's North Allegheny 2 and Peters Township 1.
I'll miss the All-Star games this year, Bobby. I'm not going to be able to attend. I got to work. Are you?
Are you going to the Grammys?
No. Are you scheduled to do a game, or is the schedule not been put out
We
yet?
are. The games are not being broadcast on MSA Sports.
They are not. Interesting. I thought they would be.
Puck in his own zone. Cameron Fisher up the left wing, dumps it into the right corner. On the forecheck is Paul Gonchar for North Allegheny, but Peters Township is able to get on the puck, and they'll clear it to the blue line. Loria, though, with a pinch, keeping. Actually, it was Kramer. He put a wrist shot, actually came close to the net.
It tipped off of 22. Not sure who that is, but it tipped off of one of the defensemen for Peters Township and almost in on net.
Kramer, the senior, making it happen as he had a push shot, missed. Opeka comes down the right side, fires to the far post, and he missed. Good opportunity for Ross Opeka to try to tie the game.
He tried that far post is what he did. Boy, if he puts that on net, he might go, because NA goaltender Hubert was a little late in covering that post.
Boss, his outlet pass is too far for Will Barnes, and that gives North Allegheny a chance to dump it back into the zone to our left. Played back to the blue line. Christian Loria on the ice. His pass finds Dominic Zangaro. Zangaro comes in, skating from right to left. Wrist shot! And into the butterfly to make the save and holding on is Tony Lejeune. And a face-off forthcoming in the Peters Township zone.
Yeah, both goaltenders have played well. Lejeune's given up 2 goals, but he's made a couple of big saves. And on the other side, Hubert's made a couple of big saves. Only seen 11 pucks. But I think both goaltenders have made the saves they've needed to. And well-played game by both teams. Nothing really sticks out that either team's doing wrong. Both teams playing pretty solid on defense. A lot of forechecking. A lot of good skating, and we see the officials now talking to Mike Bagnato.
Yeah, Mike Bagnato is
giving an earful to one of the officials. I don't know what it's about.
No, you call it an earful. It's just like a discussion.
Yeah. He's emphatically telling him his point, maybe? I don't know.
I thought it was calm.
Oh.
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse, too.
You've been a lot closer to worse, haven't you?
I've seen certain people break clipboards.
Oh, I wonder who that would be.
I think we know.
Puck is in the Peters Township zone, cleared back to center ice. Christian Loria, far side, can't get it to the Peters blue line. And the Indians try to get it past Chittister's return after the coincidentals. Chittister gains the zone. He's offside on himself, so he has to leave the puck there. And it's played, and coming through is Brady Cochran down the right side. Drop past the Weaver, and that is offside. Scott Weaver, the goal scorer for Peters Township. North Allegheny's goals by Eric Chittister and Dawson Richard.
The game's slowed down a little bit here. A lot of that has to do with the condition of the ice by the end of the second period. And we've seen a couple icing calls, a couple offside calls. Not that flow that we had most of the first period.
Face off just outside of the North Allegheny zone. Colina and Taylor. Colina gets the win. Rebels has the puck for Peters. Plays it back to the NA zone. Matt Heil to center ice. Return. It's off of Rebholes, and 2 players were tied up. That was a good check by Zangaro as he knocked down Raymore. And now Dominic Zangaro. Raymore goes high. Zangaro beats him. Comes down the right side. Fires the wrist shot. And a good save again, holding strong in the butterfly. Tony Lejeune says no.
He chipped that off the boards and created a 3-on-2. Took it himself. Again, the defenseman backed off. They don't challenge. And I'm a little surprised that Peters Township's defense, as mobile as they are, aren't challenging the shooter. They kind of let him come in, and that's twice now. Once cost him a goal, and this time their goaltender made the big save. But that chip off the boards created that odd man break.
Well, that time, Mike, I think Zangaro had knocked Raymore down, and then Raymore, instead of playing positionally, was just looking for revenge. Shut off the faceoff. It's a left pad save by Lejeune. Right point, shot through traffic. Lejeune makes the stick save, and then the rebound wide by Chittister. Good wrist shot from the right point by Matt Heil. And Chittister very nearly had his second as he was camped all alone in front of Tony Lejeune. Max Boss on the far side gets it to the point, kept in at the right point, though, by Heil. Chittister looks to be hurt as he kind of goes to the bench, hunched over.
Yeah, he's limping.
And Chittister is a little bit on the smallish side, but that hasn't affected his numbers. 13 goals and 16 helpers on the season. On the forecheck, on the puck, Brady Cochran for Peters Township. But skating in to take possession, Dawson Richard in his own zone. Good move in front of his own net. Now another, and Cochran knocked him down. No penalty, and Richard got lucky because the second move when he fell down almost created an opportunity. Now a steal coming down the left side. Wrist shot misses the net. Cameron Fisher fired and missed the far post. Another turnover at the Peters Township blue line, which created that opportunity. 4:15 to go in the second period. 2-1 lead for the Tigers. Good little drop pass center point. Loria in front. He tried to put the puck on the stick of Zappia, and Zappia deflected it wide. Puck is in the left wing corner. Zappia Short little pass to Fisher. Behind the net, standing tall is Paul Gonchar. Gonchar can't get it, but it comes to the point. Loria fires. Oh, Lejeune had trouble. He couldn't glove it cleanly, and it fell right in the crease, but now it's cleared away. Gonchar was there. Peters Township does finally get possession in their own zone. Emilio's outlet hits a skate, and back in his own zone. It's played by Daniel Bastido, the senior defenseman.
Having all kind of problems clearing the puck. NA starting to dominate on the cycle. They're doing a really good job with the puck in the offensive zone, are the Tigers.
Luria in his own zone. Outlet the center ice, stepping in, taking his Gilorowski. Gilorowski finds Barnes. That is Will Barnes, the sophomore. In front shot! Score! Tied at 2, Matt Emilio for Peters Township. Wide open, and he buries it.
You know what? The defenseman for NA almost had a 3-on-1, and he put it in the corner. He banged it in the corner hard, went in to get it, turned around. They turned the puck over, and Peters Township had 3 guys near the front of the net because they almost had a 3-on-1. They just kept skating in wide open because of a turnover, and two short things in hockey. If you turn the puck over and there's guys in front of the net, you're going to get scored on. The other one is put the puck on the net, you're going to score, and that's what we've seen tonight so far.
Emilio will get his 4th of the year. Comes at 13:37. 2 unanswered for North Allegheny to start this contest. They led it 2-0. But Scott Weaver and Matt Emilio answer for the Indians, and we're knotted at 2. Peters has it after the face-off win as Jonathan Parks was knocked down for North Allegheny. Puck is cleared up, back to center ice. Gilorowski will just dump it in. Peters has to tag up, which they do. And NA in their own zone, Bastido clears it up. Second opportunity, gets it back to center ice. Finds the stick of Nathan Taylor. Taylor comes down the right side. Draw pass through traffic. And that wrist shot by Bastido hit a body in front and bounced wide. Puck is behind the net. Trying to center it in front. They try to find Parks. They can't get it out in front. Peters will come on the near side in their own zone. And skating effort. That's good job by Opeka. Opeka comes down the right side. His pass across. Will Barnes was there. Barnes may have been interfered with. He's knocked down.
Yeah,
they can't get a shot on. And a counterattack for North Allegheny. And that's offside and also potentially a pick for Dominic Zangaro.
In the official scoring, it was Emilio from Ross Opeka and Will Barnes at 13:37. And, despite about a 2-minute stretch where NA just dominated Peters Township, in Peters Township's defensive zone, Peters couldn't clear the puck, had all kind of problems. A couple of big saves by Peters goaltender Tony Lejeune to kind of keep them in the game. They come right down and score to make it 2-2.
We thought maybe a couple interference calls against NA. We get a penalty charged against Jake Shopes for Peters Township. 14:30, time of the penalty in the second period, puts North Allegheny on their third man advantage opportunity. 2-2 here late in the second period. Cochran is tied up, comes back into the NA zone for Dawson Richard. Near side to Christian Luria. Luria, short little pass to Zappia. Zappia comes down the left wing, gaining the zone for North Allegheny on the man advantage. Puts it behind the net, trying to set up is Kramer. Kramer was turned around. Luria pinches in and keeps it alive. Drop pass from Kramer. Chittister at the left point. Right point comes to the left point. Shot blocked. Good read by Tylenda to block the Richard shot.
That's the best NA has been on the power play in all 3 power plays. That point right there.
Christian Luria comes out of his own zone, the junior defenseman, but he can't get through cleanly. And the puck was actually shoveled onto the net from center ice by Peters Township. In his own zone, Richard has it behind the net for NA with 54 seconds to go on this power play. Dawson Richard skating up the right side, winds his way in, stick handles to the circle, tries to shoot. That's where he scored the goal earlier, but can't get a shot off. Goes to the boards. Behind that, the Zappia. Puck behind the net. Peters Township had it. They can't get there, though. Gonchar to the point. Slapper. A heavy one from the right point by Richard. Missed the net. Near point. Left side, Rayenkamp puts it in behind the net to Paul Gonchar. Gonchar plays catch with Zappia. Gonchar winds it all the way around to the right point to Dawson Richard with 18 to go on the man advantage. His shot pass finds a man. Gonchar on the left goal line. A sneaky shot. Saved. Holding the near post was Lejeune. Great speed to keep it in by Rayenkamp. Rayenkamp skates off a check. That shot is blocked. And the rebound is poked just wide. 1, and the penalty is over. And we're 5 aside. And Peters out of the box. Too many men. Too many men, and that's a bad line change.
Is that too many men? Yeah, it is.
Well, there were 6, and the guy came out of the penalty box, and the guy came off the bench early.
Yeah, that's
which created that 3-on-1, and that's
I thought maybe
call.
offsides, but they're going to say too many men. I agree. I mean, when you come off the bench and you play the puck and the other guy's not off the ice yet, that's a penalty. Or if the guy is coming off on the bench and the guy is supposed to come off the bench to go onto the bench, plays the puck, that's a penalty. You got to know who you're replacing out there, and that's a mistake.
Peters wins the faceoff, so there'll be the 4th man advantage opportunity for North Allegheny. We have 19 seconds to go in the second period, so the Tigers will, if they fail to score here late, will start the 3rd period with a man advantage and a fresh sheet of ice. They're into the zone. Bustito down the near side with 7 seconds, puts it behind the net. Still pitchforking is Bustito. It's grabbed by Peters Township. They can't clear the zone, but the Tigers, can't control as the puck came up and hit Michael Kramer, and he couldn't control. So North Allegheny will start period number 3 with 1:34 on the power play, but a good period for Peters Township. North Allegheny led 1-0 after 1, 2-0 early in the second period, but Weaver and Amelia scored for Peters Township, and through 2 at the Bladerunners in Warrendale, we are tied at 2. Back with the scoring recap between periods right here on MSA Sports. You're listening and watching PIHL High School Hockey. It is sponsored by Trib Total Media right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Energy assistance is available for people's customers this winter. LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, provides grants to help pay winter heating bills. These grants are not loans and do not need to be paid back. Funding is limited this winter, so it is important to apply for LIHEAP now. Learn more about how a LIHEAP grant can help you or someone you know. Find out if you're eligible for LIHEAP by calling 1-866-827-1281 or visit peoples-gas.com/LIHEAP.
Own your piece of hockey history with a Penguins game used jersey. Visit J&J Distributing at www.jjdistributing.biz and check out one of their largest selections of Penguins game-worn jerseys from your favorite Pens, past and present, or call 724-752-1556. J&J Distributing buys, sells, and trades some of hockey's most prized possessions, including the Penguins game-worn jerseys, Penguins practice jerseys, minor league jerseys, and new and game-used equipment. Browse their inventory today at www.jjdistributing.biz.
East Suburban Sports Medicine, leaders in physical therapy, will help you get back into the game. Feel better, play better, live better. Return to your activities quickly and safely. East Suburban Sports Medicine. Take it from me, Bill Hillgrove. It's the best care, hands down.
The team at S-Mark takes great pride in the company they've built and their growing presence in Pittsburgh. Strong values, steadfast dedication, and unwavering commitment extends well beyond the walls of S-Mark facilities into virtually every facet of our local communities. From ongoing support for critical health and human services for families and children to youth sports and recreation programs. It's the many faces of S-Mark that touch lives, instill hope, and provide opportunities to enhance and enrich the world around us. S-Mark is proud to extend its support of local communities through its sports sponsorship with the MSA Sports Network.
Back at the Bladerunners in Warrendale with Mike Azadian, Bob Orkwis on the MSA Sports Network. Scott Majeski also here. He's running the camera as it's an audio and video extravaganza here on MSA on a Thursday night for the top spot in the classification, at least a share of it. 31 points for the Tigers coming into tonight's game, 29 for Peters Township. And Mike, we've played 34 minutes. We've settled nothing.
Yeah, I mean, NA had control of this game. Up 2-0, and then Peters Township comes back and gets one fluke goal, but they got outworked a little bit, but still managed to take advantage of a turnover That's what good teams do. And despite having 4 power plays, NA has not scored a power play goal. Peters Township's done pretty well on the penalty kill. Both of these teams are playing well on all facets. We kind of expected this. Top 2 teams in the division, top 2 teams in the classification. We knew it would be a close, tight game, and that's what it is. It's been a lot of good skating, a lot of good performances by a lot of kids, and it's the kind of game you hope for when you see a game like this on the schedule. This has a playoff atmosphere to it between these 2 teams, and who knows? Maybe these 2 teams will see each other in the next month in the playoffs.
The thing about the new playoffs, and 8 teams, by the way, in the classification, so it's simple. 8 and 1, 5 visits 4, 7 visits 2, 6, 3. There's no reseeding this year.
Yes.
They are bracketed out straight through in the top 8. They're bracketed out anyway in all the classifications.
A lot of people, you're going to get arguments from both sides. A lot of people say, well, if there's an upset, and then you got to, hey, that's just the game. You got to play who's in front of you. The reseeding, a lot of people didn't like that because then if there was an upset, then a higher team gets to play a lower team again. But no matter which way you look at it, you still have to play good teams that have qualified for the playoffs, and you got to beat who's in front of you. So to me, I don't mind the bracketing, because that way you could get a chance to scout teams ahead of time and get some reports on them where you may not be able to do that if you don't know who you're going to play.
It's 2-2 through 2. Let's give you the Bladerunners scoring summary. Bladerunners in 2 locations, Warrendale, Harmerville. You got that, or you want me to run it?
You got it.
North Allegheny took a 1-0 lead late in period number 1, 12 seconds left to be exact. Eric Chittister's 13th of the year. Assist for Dawson Richard and Zappia, and it was 1-0. Then 2:45 into the second period. Richard on a counterattack for North Allegheny from the right circle. Strong wrist shot, his 9th of the year. Christian Loria had the only assist. It was 2-0 North Allegheny, but then 2 unanswered for Peters Township. The fluky one, Scott Weaver's first of the year. A turnover, and Galarowski made a great read. Created a 2-on-1 down low. A shot was stopped by Hubert. It bounced up in the air. Bastido tried to clear, but Bastido's clear with the glove hit Scott Weaver. It ended up into the net, and at 6:52, it was 2-1. And Sam Barnes had the other assist on that goal line with Galarowski. And then Matt Amelia, his 4th of the year at 13:37, coming down the right side. A good wrist shot. Rosso Pica and Will Barnes got assist, and we're tied at 2. Shots on goal in the second period, 12-7 in favor of North Allegheny. Game totals 20-13 in favor of the Tigers. Peters Township 0 for 1 with a man advantage. NA is 0 for 4. They will have a minute 34 of power play time with power play opportunity number 5 to start period number 3. That's your Bladerunners scoring summary.
Special teams, Bob, decide a lot of sporting events, and in hockey especially, if you can score on the power play, you're going to have a huge advantage. If you can kill penalties, you're going to have a huge advantage. So far, Peters Township has the advantage. They've killed 4 NA penalties. NA, with all those opportunities, really hasn't had a lot of shots on goal. They've played better even up, 5-on-5, 4-on-4. And that may determine this game down the line. If NA could score here coming into the third period and get a big boost, get a power play goal, that could go a long way to them leading it. On the reverse, if Peters Township can stop them, get another goal, but Peters Township's going to have to start playing a little better. They got a little bit tired at the end of the second period, got outplayed a little bit at the end of the second period, and we'll see missing those players. If some of these younger players have what it takes here in the third period, Peters Township at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Peters Township, by the way, like on the season, has killed off all 9 of the power play opportunities for North Allegheny. Working on number 10 could be a crucial moment. Could be a potential Mount Lebanon Ice Arena play of the game.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen a play of the game yet. We've had a couple of good saves. We've had a couple of goals. We got some things we could pick from, but something tells me it's going to be upcoming. And the 3 stars, boy, I tell you what, if I had to pick 3 now, it would be really tough. I got a couple of guys in mind, but we'll have the MSA 3 stars into the game as well. And another thing, too, for those of you, if you're a first-time watcher or listener here from Peters Township or North Allegheny, we will have a center stage video we're going to film tonight. It'll be up on the website within the next day or so. We haven't determined who it's going to be yet because we don't know who's going to win.
Generally, we try to pick the star of the game.
Right, star of the game. And right now, Richard Dawson with a goal and an assist. But, these goaltenders have played well as well. We just don't know
Or maybe we could go to the left coast and either get Adam or Giovanni or Carter to
wouldn't that be
fill us up get us up to date on the Grammys.
Wouldn't that be something if they won the game and then we were able to get a hold of them and call them and interview them and say, hey,
maybe they're listening. Who knows?
It's Thursday night. The Grammys aren't until
We're
Sunday.
watching, right?
What are you doing so early? Couldn't
you? Well, first of all,
taking the red eye
Mike,
on Thursday
it's
night?
79 in L.A. It's 3.
Yeah, it is.
You're questioning that?
Well, there's a reason there's a red
3
eye.
in Western
Fly out
Pennsylvania.
Friday morning, spend the weekend out there. That's what I'm saying.
You know, if it comes between Mike Azadian and Christina Aguilera,
well, that's a
no
little
offense,
different.
buddy. I'm
That's
taking,
a little
I'm
different.
taking ex-Tina.
That's a little different. If she's available and she wants me to be a part of her entourage, I'll be there.
We'll take a break. Third period comes your way. Sue between Peters Township and North Allegheny. It's high school hockey. You're watching and listening to it. Sponsored by Trib Total Media right here in the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is former St. LaSalle, Mount Pleasant Trinity basketball coach Joe Dunn, here to tell you that I'll be joining Dawn Rebel and Johnny Lee on the WPIHL Round Ball Report Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. here on the MSA Sports Network. There we go.
Coach, this is a 30-second commercial.
What? Whose call was that? That's a terrible call. I mean, I just sat down here. I'm all, this is the kind of stuff that happens to me.
We have
all
another
the time.
ex-coach.
It's just one of those things.
Join us for the WPIHL Round Ball Report Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock here on the MSA Sports Network.
You're killing me.
UPMC Sports Medicine is the region's largest and most experienced center dedicated to caring for athletes of all levels. And as we celebrate more than 25 years of world-class care, we're proud to offer more services, have more physicians, and treat more student athletes than any other sports medicine provider in the region. Why would you choose to go anywhere else? To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
What you want is to stay warm this winter by logging on to www.msasports.net each and every day. We have all the schedules, the scores, the rankings, and the standings of the high school winter sports, plus weekly shows like Inside the WPIHL Wrestling Circle, the PIHL Power Play Show, and the WPIHL Round Ball Report, along with live and archive broadcasts of whatever your favorite high school sport is. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this winter. It's the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Third period about to get underway from the Bladerunners in Warrendale with Mike Azadian, Bob Orkwis on the MSA Sports Network. Scott Majeski running the video portion of this broadcast. We welcome you, whether you're watching or listening on the MSA Sports Network. 90 seconds to go in a man advantage. A important point of this game. North Allegheny moves from left to right. They have the power play. They can't gain the zone. As a nice job by Gavin Rebholz to clear. That's dumped back in. Rebholz denies that. And another opportunity for Luria. He retreats into his own zone. Passes near side of Bastido. His pass intercepted. Trying to go cross ice. Gilarowski low wrist shot. Stopped by Hubert. The quick whistle results in a face-off in the NA zone.
I tell you what. I mean, good. You mentioned it. Anticipation. He saw that possibility, intercepted the puck, and he doesn't fool around when he has the puck. He gets it low on the net, and he puts it on the net. So important.
Face off. Peters tries to dump it in. They can't. Kramer, good job. That's Gilarowski with a stick to deny a 2-on-1. As if Zangaro had that, he would have been up ice. But now skating in, Kramer drops it back at Richard, and that's picked off. Matt Emilio has a goal. Comes down the left side. He's 1-on-1. He's tied up with Rayenkamp. Puck is played to the far side, backhanded by Luria. And the Tigers, with 38 seconds on the man advantage, have Dawson Richard in their own zone. Richard winds his way through center ice, comes down the right side, gains the zone, leaves the puck off the skates of Barnes on the stick of Zangaro. Zangaro leaves it for Richard in the right corner. He looks beyond the net, off of Zangaro's stick in front. Sticked away by Lejeune, and a return pass is picked off, and a potential 2-on-1, but it's going to be 2-on-3, but a short-handed effort. They do get it in front, but it can't connect to Barnes. And that was a good opportunity for Barnes and Emilio. Coming down the near side, Zappia, drop pass to Dawson Richard. A heavy wrist shot hit a stick and just went high and wide. The penalty is over. We're 5 aside. So Peters Township remains perfect on the PK. 0 for 5. How about that bounce?
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, Dawson Richard blistered his shot, and it just went over Lejeune's shoulder. Boy, that thing was ticketed for that top corner.
Several times today, Mike, including the goal. We've seen a strong wrister by Richard.
Boy, he's got a heck of a shot.
He's a big guy for sophomore.
No doubt about it. You know who he reminds me of at this point at his age is Brandon Sod.
Steal through center ice. Nathan Taylor comes down the right side, makes a good move. Couldn't get everything on the shot. Lejeune had trouble with it. It's cleared away, out of harm's way. Heil at the right point dumps it all the way around to the left corner. Matt Michalowski gets it up but not out. That's a good forechecking effort by Eric Spries. Spries is on the puck in the left wing corner. He's tied up with Michalowski. Spries using his strength, shields, but Opeka clears to the point, kept in on the backhand by Bastido. And now Peters will clear the zone, dump it to the near side, and the Tigers in their own zone. Matt Heil will track it down. Plays it up the boards, the center ice for Gilarowski. Gilarowski will dump it in, and partial line change for Peters Township. The forwards change, and back in his own zone, Gilarowski forgot the puck. Luckily, back there to play it was Rebholz. Spinabelli's on the puck. Puck comes near side. That's not Rebholz, excuse me. It's Michalowski. And now Michalowski's third effort gets it up. Oh, he almost had a teammate open. Chokes at the blue line, but he did not gain the red line, Mike, and it's icing against Peters Township.
That's another thing. You got to know where you're at, and you got to know if you've got to that red line, because any face-off, if you lose the face-off, you get a quick shot and you can score. So you don't want a lot of face-offs in your zone, and you don't want to ice unless you have to.
Face off to the left of Lejeune. It's controlled by Raymore, but pinching in Rayenkamp keeps it alive for North Allegheny. They attack in the zone to our right corner. Paul Gonchar on the puck. Gonchar shields 2 men off using his skates. Puck tried to clear. He tried to get it to the point. Spinabelli intercepts for Peters. Gets it back to center ice. Raymore in his own zone for Peters. Puts it on the backhand. Dumps it to the NA zone. It will not be icing. Rayenkamp will have to go and play. Shopes is right on him. Rayenkamp plays it around to the near side. Now it's Gonchar. Short little pass. Kramer down the right side. 3-on-3. His pass is intercepted by Spinabelli. Spinabelli outlets the Weaver. Weaver at the red line was 1-on-4, so he just dumps it to the NA blue line, and the Tigers miscommunicate. Rayenkamp tried to get it to Gonchar. Now it does. The Gonchar just angles it into the Peters Township zone. Played there by Raymore. Raymore is defended at center ice. Gonchar knocks it down in his own zone, and he's called for a high stick on the puck, and that will be a face-off or bring a face-off in the NA zone to the right of goaltender Joe Hubert.
This is kind of like what a first period is. Both teams feeling each other out. Neither defense taking chances. Both teams giving the puck away a lot. It's not like the first period was free-flowing back and forth. I think now it's turned into more of a defensive game. Neither team wants to make a mistake and create a break for the other team.
Face-off controlled by Heil in his own zone. Stops on a good turning move in the near corner. That creates the outlet. Zappia with speed. Near side, a return pass to Richard. Richard does finally get it, and his shot down low, but Lejeune made the save. Right arm, blocker side. He hugged that between his body, and a good shot by Richard off the pass from Zangaro, but a better save by Tony Lejeune.
Earlier I said I compared him to Brandon Sod. He's big. He can move with the puck. He can shoot hard. He can skate really well. Just his size alone reminds me of Sod when he played for Pine Richland as a freshman and dominated in their championship year.
Face-off controlled by Gilarowski in his own zone for Peters Township. Now Richard steals. Richard in the circle on the left side. Tries to put it in front. Zangaro gets it on the backhand. He slid it just wide. Good opportunity created by the steal by Dawson Richard. Outlet off the skate of Sam Barnes. Richard on the puck again. It just seems to be on his stick. He walks in, strong wrist shot. Down the left side this time, he missed the net. Yeah, Dawson Richard is dominating the shift.
Yeah, good players. The puck just finds them.
Zangaro behind the net with speed. Tries to walk out. Finds Loria, and a pad save made by the left toe of Lejeune. Peters counterattacks. 3-on-3. Emilio's pass in front. He tried to find Barnes, and it misfired. Through center ice off the skate of Zappia comes to Richard. His wrist shot. Stick save by Lejeune. Richard on the puck once again. Puts it to Zangaro. Zangaro tries to get away from Gilorowski. He can't do it. Gilorowski, and behind the net, his outlet is intercepted at center ice by Rayenkamp. Rayenkamp bounces off the boards. Can't get it into the Peters zone. And with speed, Zach Gilorowski. Good move. Wrist shot, and a good one right into the crest of Hubert, who made the save in the butterfly.
Boy, the better players are really starting to shine here, aren't they? Dawson, Richard, Dobb, did he have 4 shots on net that last shift?
He had the puck for, by my estimation, 7 minutes and 3 seconds on that shift.
He had at least 3, maybe 4 shots on net and created a couple opportunities for others.
Gilorowski with a nice move to come back the other way. Barnes down the right side for Peters Township. Gains the zone. Skates behind the net. Barnes trying to come to the left corner. He is impeded by Rayenkamp, and now they tie up, and now we're going to get a penalty. I'm not sure it was going to be Rayenkamp, and I don't disagree with the Peters Township fans to our right that Rayenkamp may have interfered with Sam Barnes. But Peters Township looks like they're going to be guilty. As
this will be power play number 6 if that's it, and it's going to be Cochran. And
are they going to take an NA player, or is it just Cochran?
Boarding. I'm pretty sure it's a boarding call on Cochran.
So this penalty comes at 6:20.
All right.
That's 6 power play. That's a boarding call.
You know, Bob, if Peters Township wins this game, Tony Lejeune...
You look no further than Lejeune or the PK.
Right. Those are the 2 things right now. Lejeune made 3 fantastic saves. And right there, NA scores the way they played at the end of the second, the way they played here in the third. You know what I mean? It might take the life out of Peters Township, but Lejeune has kept them in this game, Bob.
Faceoff is outside of the NA blue line. And another power play opportunity for North Allegheny. But a good job to make a steal and skate in with a wrist shot. And that gave Hubert a little trouble. That was Opeka with the opportunity off the face-off win. Puck is played down the far side. Zappia gains the zone. Boss gets him off the puck. Opeka wrists it up. Kept in, though, down to his knees. Dawson Richard. Richard plays left point. Richard open the left circle. Goes to the left goal line. Centering shot pass is stopped off the stick of Zappia by Lejeune. Right point, Loria. Right circle, Zappia. Right goal line. He works it to Taylor. Taylor comes back to the near point. Loria, opposite side. Richard, he misfires. Now it comes back to Loria. Center point, back near side of Taylor. Nathan Taylor's pass in front. Try to find Zappia, cleared to the blue line, and out.
Well, NA with a lot of passing.
Richard in his own zone after 2 players went tumbling to the ice. Cleared out, comes to the near side. Dominic Zangaro skates around Raymore. Zangaro creates room, finds a man, but the pass misfires. It hit Zappia on the stick and bounced up in the air. Kept in, though, at the far boards by Richard. Puck into the corner. They try to work left corner. Zangaro's in there along with Zappia. Puck is picked up by Peters Township, and that's got to be Gilorowski. 2-on-2 shorthanded with speed. Boy, is he shifty. Puts a pass over, but it's behind Will Barnes. But Gilorowski great on the edges to make stops and turns.
He can skate. He is a heck of a skater.
Outlet deflected in, trying to get it as Michael Kramer backhanded away and getting back in his own zone. Who else?
Gilorowski.
He's at one end of the ice creating, and then he's defending at the other.
He's the most talented player on Peters Township, I'll tell you that. But he may not be the best player on the ice because Dawson Richard is playing a fantastic game.
8 seconds to go. Chance for a last rush for NA. And they are shortly facing an 0-for-6 mark on the power play. And we're 5 aside. The penalty is over to Cochran. Gaining the zone. I haven't seen Chittister in a while.
I agree. I have not seen him either.
Remember, he was injured in the second period. Puck is back to the point. Bostito keeps it in and backhands it high off the boards. Behind the net, North Allegheny trying to center it. It's Fisher. Fisher had a man in front. Kramer with that big frame. Far point comes near side. Rayenkamp walks in, cleared away. Nicely done by Will Barnes, and then Barnes swung a stick. He was lucky he didn't take the pins out of the
would be a bad
defenseman.
Penalty.
Bostito in. Wrist shot strong, but he missed. As Bostito fired from between the circles. Puck is tied up in the right corner. On the puck for Peters Township is Spinabelli. Spinabelli gets it back to center ice, played by Christian Loria. Near side of the Kramer. Kramer dumps for NA. Gilarowski in his own zone. Gets it to Opeka. It does squirt back to center ice. Spinabelli gives chase, but he's beaten to the puck by Heil. Heil dumps it in. Tylenda on the backhand.
That's going to be icing.
Icing against Peters Township as we are halfway through the third period. We remain tied at 2.
You know, Bob, a couple observations. Boy, NA just, they pass, during the power play, pass. Too many passes. You know, they're going cross ice, and they're trying to make the perfect play. They're not shooting enough when they have the opportunities, and I think that's cost them. And if they lose this game, maybe why they lose it, because of the power play.
Face off to the left of Lejeune. Comes to the point. Heil wrist it wide. Played on the far boards. And that finds Peters Township. Allegheny center line, and it's dumped in by the Indians on the forecheck. Rebholz is out there, but it's picked off. Counter, Zappia. Zappia's back. That's a 3-on-2. Now it's 3-on-5. Good job to get back en masse by Peters Township, but they turn it over. Slap shot by Loria, and that hit something in front. Never made its way to Lejeune, and now it's cleared out by Rebholz. And will it be icing? Yes, it will.
Yeah, it will be. You know, Peters Township, last time down the ice, Bob, had a 3-on-2, but they skated so hard they went right into the NA defense. It was like kind of 5 guys all lined up together. If they back off a little bit, they get a 3-on-2, they could probably get a good shot. So sometimes good skating teams are a little bit too fast. They were a little bit too fast for their own good. They caught up to the NA defense. They should have had a good opportunity on a 3-on-2, but they let it go away.
Face off to the right of Lejeune. That's won by Taylor, but Peters is able to force it back to center ice. And now they're in their own zone, the Indians are. Rebholz, or Michalowski, plays it near side into the skates of Ross Opeka. And his clearing pass is intercepted, but offside. It's Parks was tied up with Taylor. They're offside at the Peters Township blue line.
Beginning of this game through the first period and a half, pretty even. NA dominated the latter part of the second period. Beginning of this period, about even, and now NA starting to dominate again. And you kind of wonder if they can get a tally, they can put this game away.
Matt Michalowski in his own zone has it played back behind him. He has to go back and play it. Fires it around to the near side of Raymore. Can Raymore get it out? It's Jace Cochran, and he can't. Stolen away. It's in front. Turning to try to shoot, and they can't get it cleanly. That was Nathan Taylor on the left goal line. Now it's in front again. It's in the skates of Parks, and it comes to the right corner. Pass to the right point. Wrist shot through traffic by Bostito. That misses everything, and now it comes to Sam Barnes. His outlet deflected. Cochran goes to give chase, and getting to the net, Hubert puts his glove down on the puck. He'll cover up a face-off in the NA zone with 6:02 to go in the third period. We're remain tied at 2 with the Bladerunners in Warrendale.
You know, NA got the turnover, but the puck was in skates, in sticks, couldn't get it on net. And you can have all the talented players in the world, but a lot of times in hockey, Bob, you know how it is. It's taking advantage of turnovers. Sometimes weird plays are what creates scoring opportunities in hockey. You don't have to have all the talent in the world. You just have to be in the right place at the right time.
Center point, Boss, a slapper. Blocked nicely by Kramer. Leads to a counterattack. Paul Gonchar lost it. With speed, attacking. That's got to be Gilarowski. Oh, great move to get around Kramer, but he lost the puck. Gilarowski tracks it down in the left wing corner. Puck is played to the left circle, and they couldn't get it cleanly. Spinabelli tried to walk out, lost it. The counter the other way with Loria leading the attack, the defenseman. His centering pass, no one home. Near side, Heil puts it on. A right pad save made by Lejeune. Kept in at the near point by Kramer. Dumped around behind, far side. Boss gives chase, as does Will Barnes. But Loria keeps it in. That was almost deflected by NA, and another save by Lejeune. Kept in at the point. They can't get it past Loria. Walking along the goal line, trying to center it, was Fisher. Intercepted, and with speed, it's Will Barnes. Barnes against Loria. He's double-teamed, and the double team works as Heil and Loria deny the attack. Spinabelli on the puck keeps it alive for Peters Township. Deflected near side, and out of the zone comes Gonchar. He'll dump it in. He looks to change as Fisher goes in on the forecheck for NA. Near side, it's Max Boss. His outlet, it's a giveaway. And North Allegheny gets it right back to Boss, and now it's picked off by Dawson Richard. Played around the far side, too far for Opeka. Kept in by Rayenkamp. Fires it into the near corner. Played on the near boards, the right wing boards by Rebholz. Gavin Rebholz gets it out of the zone. being checked all the way by Zappia. Puts it in front, no one home, except for Dominic Zangaro. Zangaro behind his own net, 4:15 to go. Zangaro gets away from a collision as he collided actually with Quilina. And that puck is behind Dominic Zangaro, and icing is called against North Allegheny.
And boy, both teams still skating really well, Bob. And I just have a feeling that this game is going to, if it doesn't end up tied, it's going to end up on another weird goal. Turnover. There's been a lot of turnovers, especially by Peters Township, and that's what I feel may happen.
Mike,
a turnover is going to create.
Do me a favor when you get a chance. Check Point Street, because there's a Peters player in the box, so I'm wondering, we don't have a PA going tonight. I wonder if there was a misconduct or a 10-minute misconduct charge.
Okay, let's find out.
Zangaro comes down the right side. Wrist shot. Score! Dominic Zangaro with a twisted wrister. And North Allegheny takes a 3-2 lead.
You know, Bobby, they just have, let's see, at the 6:20 mark, Brady Cochran got a boarding call, and he got a 10-minute misconduct for boarding and a 2-minute penalty for boarding. So when he got the 2-minute for boarding, he got a misconduct as well. That's why he's still in the box.
Zangaro's 10th of the year comes at 13:09. One that Lejeune, I'm sure, would like to have back, but it's 3-2 North Allegheny on the Zangaro goal. Peters Township now on the attack. Comes to Raymore. Skates in and fires. Blocked in front. Skating away as Parks, and he'll clear the zone. His pass for Spries is behind him. Comes all the way into the Peters Township zone. North Allegheny leads 3-2. They've outshot Peters Township 27-17. Peters in their own zone. They lose the puck. Good job on the forecheck by Nathan Taylor. Taylor backhands it for Spries. Spries goes to the far boards to give chase. He gets there, dumps it in. Emilio has it. He backhands it around for Raymore. Jake Raymore in his own zone for Peters Township will flip it up in the air. He takes a check, and Spries laid it on Raymore. And then we're going to get a penalty on Spries, I think.
I think you're right.
It's a boarding call.
Quickly, the goal scored.
A roughing call, excuse me.
Goal scored by Dominic Zangaro, assisted by Dawson Richard and Daniel Bastido. Richard's second assist and third point of the game at 13:09.
Spries called for roughing at 14:06.
Well, that is not a smart play,
nope.
Bobby. That is
Peters
not
Township,
smart.
Their second power play, Mike, it's the golden opportunity.
It actually, third power play, one in each period so far.
Power play opportunity number 3, and they trail 3-2. Dawson Richard dumps it to the Peters blue line, near side, left side, Zach Gilarowski goes opposite side to Boss. Boss flying down the right wing side, little drop pass, kept in at the center point on the backhand. They'll go to Gilarowski at the left point, sets it up, dumps it down low. On the puck is North Allegheny's Matthew Heil, and it comes out and cleared. Nice job by NA. They got it past the outstretched glove of Max Boss. So Boss sets up behind his own net. 2:15 to go in the third period. 1:21 to go on the man advantage for Peters Township. Gilarowski cross-ice pass off the stick of his teammate Gavin Rebels, and it goes out of play.
9th power play combined between these two teams. Not only have there not been any goals on the power play, there haven't been a whole lot of shots on the power play. Peters Township with only 17 shots so far in this game, only 4 in the third period. 6 in the first, 7 in the second, only 4. They're starting to get a little tired playing without 3 of their top 8 players.
Sam Barnes gains the zone, but it's played back to center ice. Gilarowski short past the Reb Holes, who dumps it in. Under 2 minutes to go, 1:05 to go on the Peters man advantage. Good job by Rebels to keep it in, but a better job to steal and clear by Nathan Taylor. Played by Lejeune in his own zone, and Peters will have to come the length of the ice. So they'll try to set it up with Gilarowski. His pass to the far side to Jake Raymore. Raymore's outlet is intercepted. Again, a great job by Taylor on the PK. Now it's taken back by Rebels. Rebels' right side is into the zone, 2-on-2. Rebels draw pass, good wrist shot, rebound, score! Barnes' shot was stopped. The rebound was right in front. It's tapped into the empty net. It's a power play goal, and we're tied at 3.
I'm not sure who got it, but I tell you what, power play goal, the first one all night. Peters Township now 1 for 2, on for 3 on the power play, and we are all tied
Second
up.
of the game from Adam Emilio.
And I thought that it was going to be, I'm looking to see if they're going to think about pulling the goalie, with a minute to go and a little bit of time on the power play, they don't have to do that.
15:31, the power play goal by Emilio ties the game at 3. Barnes should get one of the assists, and Emilio 2 in the game, 5 on the season. Through center ice, Matt Heil gains the zone right side. Rishaw, save Lejeune, rebound. Richard on the backhand, puts it up in the air. Played behind the net, a penalty coming up against Peters Township with 1:08 to go.
Oh, my goodness, these
as
guys.
Jace Cochran knocked an NA player down. That's going to be
interference.
The 7th opportunity for NA on the man advantage. Penalty comes at 16:52.
Matt Emilio from Sam Barnes and Gavin Rebholz. So Barnes with 2 assists, as you mentioned. Emilio with a big goal. And here I'm writing some things down and picking out the play of the game and possible 3 stars. And this game's nowhere near being over.
Stop the press, huh?
Yep.
Face-off is won back to the left point. Dawson Richard on the boards. Good stick work to reach in and clear the zone. It's Gellerowski. Dawson Richard at his own blue line with 55 seconds to Loria. Back to Richard. Here comes the Tigers. The Tigers enter the zone with a man advantage. Back on the ice. Eric Chittister on this power play, Mike. Chittister's on the right wing. Puck is at the left point with Richard. Tees up the slapper. That hits a skate. That was actually a good block by Scott Quilina. Chittister's pass far side to Richard. Richard top of the left circle with 33 seconds to go in the period. Wrist shot. Lejeune didn't see it till the last second, but it missed. NA keeps it in. Put it in front. It's loose. And reaching out is Lejeune. And then Lejeune is upset because North Allegheny came crashing in. And it was Dominic. It was Zangaro went after a loose puck.
Yeah, Lejeune is a goaltender. You got to realize you're going to get traffic. You got to realize you're going to get bumped. You can't be flying off the handle Ron Hextall style, swinging sticks and going crazy. A goaltender, much like a pitcher in baseball, you got to remain calm. You got to stay concentrated. We're going to get a timeout here.
Yeah, North Allegheny takes a timeout. 23 seconds to go in regulation. We're tied at 3. There's 1:15 to go in the power play, and it would carry over into overtime. To Lejeune's credit, Mike, he did look like Ron Hextall swinging the stick. He did it to smash it against the boards.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
He didn't really go head hunting.
Yeah, and who was it? Because I just saw that the other night.
It was Zangaro. It was Robbie Brown.
No, but then there was another time
Hextall. Who didn't he go after?
Yeah, there was a time I just watched one of those NHL rivalry things, and how they play it. And it just showed him going after somebody who got checked. And boy, these games they get emotional, and it's a rival. Of course, all these teams, these top teams in AAA, have rivalries with each other. And when you're the top dog and you won the championships last year, everybody's coming after you. You got the target on your back all the time. NA now leading the division, they realize a win here could probably seal it up for them, even though Peters Township has an extra game. Well, boy, Peters Township, it got outplayed a little bit at the end of the second. Midway through the third, and each time they've come back from 2-0, came back down from 3-2. There's something to be said about going on the road and coming back against a top team like this. Boy, Peters Township, if they end up tying this game, it's almost going to be like a loss for NA and a win for them because they've come back twice.
Gilarowski, Barnes, Amelia, and Raymore out. Loria has it for North Allegheny. That's the PK near side to Chittister. Puts it in front. It's behind Zappia. 13 seconds. Zappia has Chittister in front. Oh, it's just scored in wide. Zappia was open near side. Loria with 7. Can't get it to Richard. Barnes reaches in and clears it to center ice. 2 seconds. 1 second. We're headed to overtime. And Peters Township will have 52 seconds to go with a man advantage. Shots on goal in the third period. 9 for North Allegheny, 6 for Peters Township. The 3-period totals, the regulation totals, 29-19. Quick break. Overtime comes your way next. You're watching and listening PIHL High School Hockey, sponsored by Trib Total Media. It's right here in the MSA Sports Network.
Attention all teenagers in the South Hills. If you need something to do on a Friday night, look no further than the TGIF Skate at the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena. Featuring a live DJ, big screen TV, special effects lighting, and games from 8 to 11, it's the place to be this winter. Mount Lebanon Ice Arena also offers an after-school skate for younger children, Fridays from 4:30 to 6 p.m., and a full range of instructional programs for all ages. For more information, call 412-561-4363 or visit mountlebanon.org.
We head to overtime at the Bladerunners in Warrendale with Mike Azadian, Bob Orkwis. Peters Township, fourth overtime game. They're 2-0-1 in overtime on the season. Mike, for North Allegheny, they're 2-1. Peters Township is 0-1-1. The teams stay the same way. North Allegheny attacks left to right. 43 seconds to go. They gain the zone with the man advantage. Zappia on the carryover penalty as Cochran for interference is in the penalty box. North Allegheny has it. Chittister near circle, puts it in front, hits a skate of Zangaro, comes to Richard. Richard dumps it in behind the net. Zappia plays it. Chittister, near point Luria, skates to the center point, tees it up, shot pass deflected, but they couldn't get all of it. Zappia just left it in front. 15 seconds to go. Luria comes flying in. Now we're going to get a penalty. Interference against Dominic Zangaro.
And that's a good call. I mean, the guy doesn't have the puck. You bump into him. You take him away from the play. You moved him away from the play, and he'd had a play on the board. That's a good call. And, you know, I'm glad that they call these interferences. 5-6 years ago, you didn't see interference called a lot. And I'm glad the PHL's cracked down on that because a lot of times defensive teams, now we're going to get a timeout for
Peters is taking the timeout.
The PIHL would mirror what the NHL did. And finally, these officials in the league decided, call that stuff because you get into that clutch and grab, that grinding, and you can't let players skate. The game is so much better when players can skate. Now we're going to be 4-4 for 13 seconds, and Peters going to get their opportunity. And don't forget, they just scored a power play goal back at the end of the third period.
They're 1 for 3 with a man advantage. Will be forced side for 13 seconds. The time of this penalty comes at 39 seconds of overtime. And then it'll be 1:47 of power play time for Peters Township. Matt Amelia, his second of the game tire on the power play, came at 15:31 of period number 3.
NA 0 for 8 on the power play now?
Yeah. Is it 7 or 8?
I think I have 8, but I have to count again. I'm pretty sure it's 0 for 8 now because they just got done at the end of the third period, didn't score.
Faceoff is in the neutral zone. Loria plays it near side of Bastido. Skates in right side, wrist shot. Down on the ice, Lejeune makes the low glove save, and he holds on. So at 4 seconds, Peters will go on the man advantage in overtime. Faceoff to the left of Lejeune. Puck is in the circle. Emilio. It's played out. Comes onto the stick of Sam Barnes. It's 5-on-4. Man advantage for Peters Township. They'll work it in behind the net. Barnes puts it in front. It's deflected right back to him. Near point to Galarowski. Galarowski puts it into the corner. Centering pass for Barnes. It's deflected up in the air. Comes back in the corner on the stick for Emilio. Looking for the HT. Boss is open at the right point. Skating with it, Barnes. Backhands it to Boss. Back to Barnes. That's too hard. Behind the net, giving chase. Emilio comes all the way around to the near corner. Puck is loose. Zappia can't get it out, but he'll skate with it to Loria, and Loria takes it out of the zone. Skates back 2-on-2. Christian Loria now dumps it in. He had Chittister out there killing the penalty. Chittister has the puck in the near corner. He centers it. Picked off by Peters Township. They can't clear. Bastido keeps it in. His wrist shot hit his own man, Zappia. 55 seconds to go on the Peters Township man advantage in overtime. Pass to Sam Barnes. Barnes with speed gets the zone. Comes down the right side. Pocket picked by Bastido, and he clears the zone. He actually puts it right on to Tony Lejeune. Emilio, that pass is behind him. Intercepted by North Allegheny. But Rebholz is on the puck with 35 seconds. Gains the center line. Flips it on net. And the basket catch by Joe Hubert.
I stand corrected. I wrote down the wrong numeral, but it is NA 0 for 7 on the power play. Started in the third period, ended in the overtime, and I gave him credit for a power play in the overtime, which they did not have. So 0 for 7 on the power play. Peters Township right now 1 for 3, working on their fourth.
Face off to the left of Hubert. That's won cleanly. Back by Scott Colina. Dumped into the corner. Brady Cochran gives chase. Puck is played around. Now back behind the net. Now into the near corner. That's Jace Cochran. His backhand pass is Gilarowski keeps it in with a shifty backhand play at the near point. Puck is played by Rayenkamp. Spins, turns, finds the lane, and clears the zone. 5 seconds to go in the minute finish. Shot hits the outside of the net. Lejeune gave it right to Kramer, but he wristed it off the outside of the cage.
Wow.
Offside against Peters Township.
Boy, you make a mistake like that, and it cost you most of the time, and this time it did. Boy, you got lucky.
Lejeune is breathing again, I can tell you that. So 2:14 to go in this overtime. It remains tied at 3.
Both teams have used their timeouts, and all of a sudden, Peters Township had a couple of big chances, couldn't put them in. Great game.
Face-off just outside of the NA blue line, played back to center ice. Far side, it's Gilarowski. Backpedals into his own zone. On the forecheck was Zappia. Puck is intercepted by Rayenkamp. Rayenkamp to Dawson Richard. Richard winds it up, comes down the left wing, gains the zone. Long wrist shot, stick save by Lejeune. Played to the far side to Jace Cochran. Cochran has it forced back to his teammate Raymore. Jake Raymore comes near side, outlet pass to Jace Cochran. Cochran trying to get to the red line. He does, dumps it in. With 1:40 to go in OT. 3-3 to score. Back in his own zone is Rayenkamp. Rayenkamp tied up, lost the puck. Comes to the right point. Gilarowski, wrist shot through traffic. Not sure if Hubert got a piece of that. A man was knocked down in front. It was Cochran. NA plays it around to the near side. Dawson Richard will deflect it back to center ice. They'll play it back to Gilarowski. Chittister is on him. Gilarowski spins and turns. Fires it around to Raymore. Comes out to Brady Cochran. Through center ice, Sam Barnes. Barnes trying to make a backhand move. Loria takes it away, but he lost it. Keeping it alive is Emilio. Under a minute to go in OT. Puck is tied up in the right corner. NA has it behind the net. They lost it. Barnes centers it. Wrist shot blocked. And that's a huge block by Bastido. Or that might have been the game winner for Peters Township. NA in his own zone. Loria. Outlet too far for Chittister. Gilarowski near side. Too far for Emilio. Icing against Peters Township. 38.1 seconds to go in OT. The face-off in the Indian zone to our right. It will be to the left of goalkeeper Tony Lejeune.
Boy, I tell you, a mistake by Peters Township, and it was by Gilarowski, who tried to feed a man. The pass was a little bit too far, led him too far, and an icing call. They better hope to win the face-off here and clear. Just get it out of the zone.
Emilio against Taylor on the draw. And we're fixing the net. And now we're ready, and Peters wins. Jake Raymore with it on the backhand, up the far side, kept in by Loria. Loria skates down the left wing boards, checked by Quilina, dumps it in behind. That's Jonathan Parks. Parks in the corner, skates it far point. Loria through traffic, hits a stick in front, deflects wide, 18 seconds to go in OT. Back to the far side, left point, Christian Loria. His shot is blocked by Quilina. Played behind the net. On the puck is Matt Emilio. Emilio to Raymore with 6 seconds. Dumps it out of the zone. Quilina comes down the near side. Loria has the puck, and we're going to end in a 3-3 tie.
Tremendous game. And you're not going to see many regular season games this good, Bobby. I got to tell you, both teams earned a deserved 1 point with this tie. Tremendous hockey game between two quality teams.
So the standings of top class AAA remain the same. Although at a point for NA, they now have 32 points, which Bethel Park cannot now catch them, but Peters Township 30, so they're 2 points behind still, Mike. But again, that game in hand, we'll talk about it afterwards in the MSA Sports post-game show. We'll have the Bladerunners scoring summary, the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena play of the game, and the management, Science Associates 3 stars as well. You've been listening and watching PHL High School Hockey, sponsored by Trib Total Media. It's right here on the MSA Sports Network.
It's cold outside and dark way too early. That must mean one thing. It's wrestling season. With the mats rolled out in a gymnasium near you, be sure to tune in to Inside the WPIHL Wrestling Circle, Monday nights at 7 p.m. on the MSA Sports Network.
We'll provide all the scores from around the WPIHL, focus on key matches, talk to coaches about their season, and provide in-depth analysis that you can't find anywhere else.
So cozy up around the fire and tune in to Inside the WPIHL Wrestling Circle every Monday night at 7 p.m. on the MSA Sports Network.
Attention all teenagers in the South Hills. If you need something to do on a Friday night, look no further than the TGIF Skate at the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena. Featuring a live DJ, big screen TV, special effects lighting, and games from 8 to 11, it's the place to be this winter. Mount Lebanon Ice Arena also offers an after-school skate for younger children, Fridays from 4:30 to 6 p.m., and a full range of instructional programs for all ages. For more information, call 412-561-4363 or visit mountlebanon.org.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Want to learn how to ice skate or play hockey like they do in the PIHL? Looking for a good place to throw that winter birthday party? If you answered yes, Bladerunners is the place to go for public or private skating sessions, plus learn to skate and learn to play hockey classes. And don't forget to check out PIHL game action at their 2 locations in Harmarville and Warrendale. For more information on ice time, class and game schedules, or party planning, visit their website at www.bladerunnersice.com. See you at the rink.
Energy assistance is available for people's customers this winter. LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, provides grants to help pay winter heating bills. These grants are not loans and do not need to be paid back. Funding is limited this winter, so it is important to apply for LIHEAP now. Learn more about how a LIHEAP grant can help you or someone you know. Find out if you're eligible for LIHEAP by calling 1-866-827-1281 or visit peoples-gas.com/LIHEAP.
The new home for the PIHL in 2014-2015 is the MSA Sports Network. Not only can you listen to audio broadcasts of high school hockey games online like in years past, but this year MSA Sports will be video streaming 25 games live and archived during the regular season with exclusive coverage of the 2015 Penguin Cup playoffs. Your audio and video home of the PIHL is the MSA Sports Network.
Back at the Bladerunners, the MSA Sports Post-Game Show. The Bladerunners in Warrendale, to be specific, with Mike Azadian. Bob Orkwis as 3-3. We go through 51 minutes of regulation plus 5 of OT, and the battle for the top spot in Class AAA ends up in a tie and a really good game between 2 really good teams. You can see, Mike, why NA and Peters Township are the top 2 teams standing-wise in AAA.
Yeah, I mean, every facet of the game. Both teams have good goaltending. Both have mobile defensemen. Peters Township a little bit more. Both teams have strong skating forwards. Both teams have very talented scoring individuals on the front lines. Both teams can skate like the wind. This is the kind of game when you anticipate, when you see it on the schedule, you know it's going to be a good game. It's rare when teams like this blow each other out. Peters Township had a little bit of a disadvantage coming in. They came back from 2 deficits. Very impressed that they came back twice to tie this game. Boy, NA was strong, but the big difference in this game was NA 0 for 7 on the power play. They scored one power.
Peters gets the 1, Mike, which is the game tie.
So Peters Township's penalty killing, and NA did not look good, especially the first 4 or 5. They barely got any shots on goal. They couldn't access the zone. Peters cleared easy. It seemed like they didn't know what they were doing on the power play. And I think, to me, that's probably the biggest reason Peters Township tied this game is because they played well on the penalty kill, and North Allegheny did not play well on the power play.
So NA would look back at this. Not only they were 0 for 8, they were 0 for 13 in 2 games, even though they beat Peters Township earlier in the season. But they'll take a well-deserved point. It was a hard-fought game, and these 2 teams are 2 of the teams to look out for. Yeah. And again, if they finish 1 and 2, then they would be opposite sides of the bracket.
And it's possible that these 2, there's a lot of good teams. You got Mount Lebanon, you got Canamac, you got Pine Richland, you got Bethel Park. You got a lot of good teams, so there's no guarantee that these 2 teams will face each other again. But, you know, it's very possible that these 2 teams, the way they played tonight, and they play a tight game earlier, I would love to see these 2 teams play in the final, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Here's your Bladerunners scoring summary, the post-game scoring summary, brought to you by Bladerunners. Check out their 2 locations right here in Warrendale and also in Harmarville. Eric Chittister's 13th of the year off assist from Dawson Richard and Joe Zappia for North Allegheny. With 12 seconds to go in the first period, we were 1-0 after one, and then Richard got his 9th of the year. Christian Loria picked up the helper at 2:45, 2-0 North Allegheny. But then 2 unanswered for Peters Township. Scott Weaver's first of the year, the craziest goal of the game, as Zach Gellerowski came in, kept it alive. Sam Barnes poked at it, went up in the air. Daniel Bostito tried to clear for North Allegheny, but he knocked it into Weaver at one end of the net to make it 2-1 at 6:52. And then Matt Amelia got his first of 2 at 13:37. No, we're good. We have your website. Thanks. Matt Amelia, his 4th of the year from Rosso Pica, and Will Barnes at 13:37. We were tied at 2 after 2. And then at 13:09, we thought might have been a big goal and one that Tony Lejeune would have liked to have back. Dominic Zangaro got his 10th of the year. A strong wrist shot down the right side by Richard and Bostito. They got the assists. And it was 3-2, but a big power play goal at 15:31. Matt Amelia, 2nd of the game. Sam Barnes and Gavin Rebholz got assist. Power play goal at 15:31. We were tied at 3. There was no scoring in the overtime, and we remain. We go to the final 3-3 shots on goal in this game. North Allegheny outshoots Peters Township 32-21. NA 0 for 7 with a man advantage. Peters Township 1 for 4. Record-wise, North Allegheny 14-2-4. They have still not lost in overtime. 2-0-2. Peters Township 14-3-2, and they're 0-1-2 in overtime. Peters Township again with that game in hand on North Allegheny. The scoring recap, by the way, brought to you by Bladerunners.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Bobby. Do you want to move to the Mount Lebanon play of the game?
Let's do it.
Mount Lebanon play of the game. It's going to be Matt Emilio's 2nd goal, the tying goal of the game, late in the game. It's hard to pick a Mount Lebanon play of the game when so many big things happen. A couple big saves by the goaltenders, a couple other big goals. The crazy goal earlier was one of them, but Matt Emilio's 2nd goal of the game, the tying goal for Peters Township, is your Mount Lebanon play of the game.
Mount Lebanon Ice Arena is the place to be for teens in the South Hills on Friday nights. Our management science associates, 3 stars of the game.
You know what? A couple of guys left out. Sam Barnes had 2 assists, but number 3 star, Zach Gellerowski, he only had 1 assist, but boy, when he had the puck, he did so many things right. You mentioned anticipation. There's a reason why he's so good. Great skater, good on the power play, great on the penalty kill. Made 1 mistake that I saw. He gave 1 giveaway, but I thought he was tremendous, and a big reason they tied the game. So Zach Gellerowski, Peters Township, number 3 star. The number 2 star, 2 and 1 were hard to pick, but between them, who was going to be 1, who was going to be 2. But Matt Emilio with 2 goals, he is your number 2 star and your Management Science Associates player of the game and the number 1 star. And we will have him on a center stage video. Dawson Richard, 1 goal and 2 assists for North Allegheny. Great on the power play, tremendous offensively. He had to have at least 7 or 8 shots on his own, create a ton of opportunities for his teammates, and he's another guy with anticipation, speed, height, and he does it all. A very, very solid player as a sophomore. NA's got a bar in the making.
3 games remaining for Peters Township. Next Tuesday, February 10th, they take on Mount Lebanon at their home, the Isoplex. And then they have Bethel Park on the road. That's Friday, February the 20th. And then they finish out their season hosting Cannon McMillan at the Isoplex on Tuesday, February 24th. 2 games left for North Allegheny. Monday, February 16th, they get a long break between games. They take on Butler at the Ice Connection. And then they finish out against Seneca Valley Monday, February 23rd, right here at the Bladerunners in Warrendale. And a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Thanks to Scott Majeski for running the camera, the video part, and thanks to you for listening to the audio part. Good job, Mike. Nice to work with you again.
Yeah, good to work with you again, too. And I also want to thank the head coaches, Mike Bagnato and Rick Tingle, both gracious to talk to us early, and enjoy working with everybody in the PIHL. It's a great marriage, MSA and PIHL.
Programming notes. The last day of section play in WPIL basketball tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the playoffs begin a week from this upcoming weekend. But Tuesday night on the MSA Sports Network, the playoffs pairing show, Basketball Bracketology 2015, 7-9 on the MSA Sports Network.
Looking forward to that. Winter sports ending in the playoffs. Also in a couple of weeks, swimming championships, diving championships. A lot of fun things coming up. And before you know it, the snow will be gone and we'll be out on the fields playing lacrosse, baseball, and softball.
Spring. We can only hope.
Yeah.
For Mike Azadian, Scott Majeski, Bob Orkwis saying the final score from the Bladerunners in Warrendale. Peters Township 3, North Allegheny 3. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please continue to listen and watch PHL High School Hockey, sponsored by Trib Total Media, right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You have been listening to the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League here at MSASports.net. Sponsored in part by the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena, by Bladerunners, by S-Mark, by First Commonwealth Bank, by People's Gas, by Carlow University, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by the East Suburban Sports Medicine Center, by J&J Distributing, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the high school hockey season every day by logging on to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.